watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Welcome to ESPN College Football, delivered by Papa John's. Mountain America Stadium in Tempe hosts one of its biggest games since the 1996 Super Bowl and the 2003 Miami-Ohio State BCS National Championship game. Kenny Dillingham's 21st ranked Arizona State Sun Devils take on the 14th ranked BYU Cougars in a matinee game with Big 12 championship and college football playoff implications. BYU can clinch a spot in Arlington with a win today and some help, or wins today and next week against Houston. Arizona State needs 2 wins and an Iowa State loss as its easiest path to the Big 12 title game. Colorado right now entering today with the best chance at 70% to get in. BYU 66%, ASU 39%. And welcome to the booth, Dave Pasch alongside Dusty Dvorak. We'll check in with Taylor McGregor here in a minute. The fact, Dusty, we're even talking about this is remarkable when you consider what people thought of these schools coming into the year. BYU in year 2 in the Big 12 picked 13th preseason. Arizona State year 1 in the conference picked last. Yet here we are, late November, everything on the line.
It's an incredible turnaround for Kenny Dillingham and Arizona State. And a big reason why, their running back, who's as tough to tackle as anyone in the country, and Cam Scadaboo, and their freshman quarterback, Sam Levitt, has been stellar the last 3 games. 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That will be put to the test today. An opportunistic BYU defense that leads the country in interceptions, and BYU coming off their first loss. Kalani Sitake told us this team's identity is its senior leadership. They'll lead on that veteran leadership here this afternoon.
They do have a face of their team, and it's their quarterback, Jake Retzloff. With more on him, let's check in with Taylor.
Well, guess what, Dave? He is 100% healthy, and you might not have even known, but last week against Kansas, he had all sorts of swelling and bruising throughout his legs that really limited him. He told me he could barely run. He couldn't throw the football the way he wanted to because he couldn't leverage off his back leg. Now, he was not trying to make any excuse. He said, I have to play better. But Dave, Dusty, you have to believe that with him being 100% healthy this week, he will play better.
They are unbeaten on the road this year, Taylor. Meanwhile, Arizona State trying to finish unbeaten at home for the first time in 20 years. Arizona State, BYU, coming up next from Tempe. You're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. From a sold-out Mountain America Stadium in Tempe, a battle of ranked teams with Big 12 championship implications squaring off. BYU and Colorado both at 6-1 after the Cougars lost at home to Kansas last week. Arizona State and Iowa State are both 5-2. The Devils won in Manhattan last week to go to 8-2. They won the toss and deferred, so they will kick it off here to start this ball game on an 80-degree day. Parker Lewis, we'll see if he kicks it away from Keelan Marion, one of the top return men in all of college football. He's got 2 kick returns for touchdowns this season. And Marion lets this one go over his head for a touchback, and BYU will start on its 25. So Jake Retzloff, a redshirt junior, transferred from Riverside City College, where he was the #1 quarterback last year in the ESPN JUCO rankings. He started 4 games a year ago, and BYU lost all 4 of those games. This year, in 10 starts, he's 9-1 and 23rd in the country, 5th in the conference in touchdown passes with 19. He does have 8 picks, including 1 last week, a critical one, and a goal-to-go situation late in the first half against Kansas. All eyes on him to see if he can bounce back today. And stepping up and lobbing it deep on first down, overthrowing Chase Roberts, his favorite target. Roberts, the leading receiver, with 42 catches on the year. Ghost Rouser in coverage.
Yeah, we'll call to Chase Roberts' name a lot today. With his size at 6'4", 210, they like the matchups outside with a smaller cornerback set for Arizona State. Jake Retzloff feeling much better, as Taylor mentioned, off the top. Last week, still beat up from that Utah game, stepping into that opening pass.
L.J. Martin in trouble in the backfield on second down. Hand fighting with a DB. A shoe went flying as Shamari Simmons with the takedown after a gain of 1, bringing up 3rd and long.
Well, Shamari Simmons been so good for this defense, moving from safety to nickel. Nice job setting the edge. And already Retzloff sitting here in a 3rd and long situation as the crowd gets to its feet.
They're 121st in the country in 3rd down conversions. Flag down. Retzloff sacked, but that was a dead ball penalty. Jacob Rich Kungaika looked like he was offside.
Offside, number 98 with contact. Defense, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, hard cat there from Retzloff. We're just going to see inside. Kungaika a little bit too quick. In the neutral zone. That's a costly mistake here early in this opening possession. Much more manageable situation for the offensive coordinator, Aaron Roderick. One thing about Retzloff, a good athlete, he could look to run with this too if nothing's there down the field.
He'll throw it on 3rd and 4, zips it in there to Roberts, and Roberts into the secondary. Dumped at the 49. It's a gain of 18 and a 1st down.
Well, it's just a simple slant from Chase Roberts. And a really good timing throw from Jake Retzloff.
BYU going with tempo. Martin hit at the 50, and down he goes. So just a 1-yard gain. Martin already at his yardage total from a year ago. He's got 2 100-yard games this season, 5 rushing touchdowns. He's also pretty good out of the backfield as a receiver.
Good size, Dave, at 6'2", 225, and this rushing attack really took a step in the right direction once he got healthy and was in the lineup each and every week. Going to get a heavy dose of L.J. Martin this afternoon.
Play action, Retzloff from the pocket, stepping up, in trouble, wrapped up. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Justin Watley was there for ASU, 3rd and long. And again, BYU 15th out of 16 teams in the conference, 32% on 3rd down this year.
Been a real issue, especially the last couple of ball games, moving the chains and extending drives. Off to a good start, 1 for 1. One of the issues, though, being well behind the chains. Now 3rd and long situation. This is an Arizona State defense that does not pressure a lot for Brian Ward. They do pick their spots in certain 3rd downs. We'll see if he dials up a pressure here to get Jake Retzloff uncomfortable in the pocket.
You saw those numbers the last 2 games. Even worse on 3rd down. They try to hand it to Marion. He runs into a teammate, Lassiter, and is tackled at the 46. We'll see if BYU goes for it. They're one of the better teams in college football on 4th down. Even though they've struggled on 3rd down, they're 5th in the nation on 4th down.
Well, McCullough blows this play up as they're going to run a jet sweep. Does a nice job coming downhill, forcing that back inside. And just like you said, this is who Kalani Sitake is. Rolling the dice, trusting his offense. One of the absolute best 4th down offenses in all of college football. This is a situation where he's always going to go for it in this kind of spot.
Late pressure coming. Retzloff with the defender at his feet. Moving to his left. Now throwing over the middle. Incomplete. Almost picked off by Jordan Crook, but it doesn't matter. Arizona State takes over on downs. Keith Abney with the pressure by ASU.
Well, Brian Ward, as I mentioned, he does not always dial it up. But watch him bring the corner blitz out of your screen right there. Dials it up, and it gets home. Excellent call, just a 4-man pressure. But he brings that corner blitz. They don't identify it. It gets Retzloff having to move in the pocket. Good coverage down the field. An excellent stop on 4th down from Arizona State.
And now the Devils, led by their quarterback, Sam Levitt, starting with excellent field position on their 46. And Cam Scadaboo breaking free, trying to get the edge. Broken tackle. First down, Scadaboo. And finally knocked out of bounds. Boy, Cam Scadaboo, Sacramento State transfer, almost 1,100 rushing yards this year.
Left tackle does an excellent job helping allow Scadaboo to get to the edge. You see the vision, the cutback, and he is a downhill running back that is so tough to tackle. Got that big lower frame, every bit of 215. Nice job and a good start for one of the best running backs in college football.
Levitt gonna throw, gets hit as he fires deep middle, and it's incomplete inside the 5. Tyson could not get there. Levitt still down, but now hops to his feet after taking a shot from Jack Kelly.
Jack Kelly been really good. This is the end of the play as one of the hottest receivers in all of college football. Jordan Tyson unable to bring this in. Here's Kelly on the shot that you referenced, Dave. What an addition Jack Kelly's been from Weber State, their best pass rusher, does a good job in blitzes getting to the quarterback, and Sam Levitt felt that one.
Scadaboo on second down, and another good run to the 31 for 7 yards. So Sam Levitt started out collegiately at Michigan State, then transferred to Arizona State. He was not recruited by BYU, but he does have ties to the Cougars. His dad, Jared, was a linebacker for 2 seasons at BYU. His older brother, Dallin, played linebacker for a couple of years before then going to Utah State and on to the NFL. Levitt last week threw 3 first-half touchdown passes against Kansas State, the first Sun Devil since Jaden Daniels. Yes, that Jaden Daniels before he transferred to LSU. Scadaboo gets the first down on third down to the 25 for 6 yards.
Well, you're going to see a lot of gap scheme runs from Arizona State. They're going to pull the backside, guard and tackle, and then it's an excellent job with the vision of Scadaboo finding the hole and moving the chains.
Scadaboo gets a breather. Kyson Brown checks in. And a new set of downs in the BYU 25.
Sam Levitt checking this play at the line of scrimmage, or something he likes.
Levitt leaves the pocket, in trouble, spins away from a defender, and now throwing down the far sideline out of bounds. Guillory was in the area, but it looked like Levitt was just throwing that away. 2nd and 10.
Get a sense of that athleticism that Sam Levitt brings to the table. When you watch the film, he extends plays and keeps things alive. If you're a receiver for Arizona State, you've always got to have your eyes on the quarterback and work back. That's a really good job by BYU, being able to contain Sam Levitt and keep good coverage down the field.
Levitt finds Tyson, blockers in front. Tyson dragged down right at the line to gain. Enough for a first down at the BYU 15.
Well, just find Jordan Tyson. He is the go-to guy. He has improved so much throughout the course of the season. Had to miss all of last year with an injury, and he's just improved and improved and improved every week. Good blocking on the perimeter, setting up that screen.
Jordan's brother Jalen played basketball at Cal, first-round pick of the Cavaliers. He almost had a triple-double for Cleveland the other night. Here's Scadaboo getting the carry and taking defenders with him down to the 10. He loves to punish the guys that try to come up and tackle him. In our conversation with him earlier this week, he talked about how much he enjoys delivering hits and sometimes taking them.
One thing that I loved about the story that we got from the coaching staff, Coach Arroyo told us that when he runs, he's out there grunting. You can actually hear him when he's got the football like a freight train coming through.
Scadaboo again on the cutback, and will come up short. Glasgow on the stop, third down. Scadaboo last year played multiple positions. He played some quarterback along with running back. He also punted 8 times. And this year he's the only player in the country with 1,000 rushing yards and more than 300 receiving yards. If he had more touchdowns, he'd be in the Heisman conversation.
Yards from scrimmage per game. He's right up there, as good as anybody in college football. Heavy personnel here, Dave. Do have a one-on-one outside with Jordan Tyson. I think they keep it on the ground with Scadaboo.
And they will on 3rd down and 3. Scadaboo again delivers the shot and gets the first down. Raider Demooney, the safety, got the worst of that.
Boy, the left side, the interior of the offensive line. Ben Coleman, left guard, center. Fautanu, really good on that double team, opening up that hole and keeping this drive alive. What an opening drive here for the Sun Devils.
Scadaboo already 41 rushing yards. Another touch for Scadaboo. Stumbles toward the goal line, and he's in for the Arizona State touchdown.
But when we talked with Kenny Dillingham about Cam Scadaboo and what jumped out first whenever he went to get him from Sacramento State, he said contact balance. How about the contact balance there from Scadaboo, putting a hand on the ground and getting it over the end zone?
Extra points and field goals have been adventurous for Arizona State, to say the least, this year, but no issues there for Parker Lewis. What a start for ASU. Turnover on downs in midfield by BYU. The Sun Devils march down the field and score. Scadaboo with his 12th rushing touchdown.
ESPN College Football is delivered by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some.
Senior day in Tempe. Cam Scadaboo, the transfer from Sacramento State, where he was an FCS All-America, playing his final home game for Arizona State. The Devils will be in Tucson next Saturday. They win these 2 games, they have an excellent chance of making the Big 12 championship game after being picked 16th out of 16 teams in the conference going into the year. See if they kick it away from Marion. Nope, right at him. He's got the green light, 3 yards deep in the end zone. 2 returns for touchdowns this year, but he barely makes it to the 20. All right, with more on Scadaboo, let's check in with Taylor.
Dave, we saw on full display the way that Cam Scadaboo runs straight through people. I asked him, where does that run style come from? And he referenced his older brother, Leonard, who is 7 years older than him. And he told me for the majority of his life, he was about 1.5 feet taller. And he bullied him as a kid. And so he said, in order to establish himself as a man, he had to be able to try to hang with his older brother. And in the photo, you can see older brother Leonard on the right, dad also named Leonard in the center, and then Cam was on the left there. So nothing like family ties to the game of football.
What a terrific season. Big 12 Player of the Year candidate. BYU with a pitch. Martin trying to get the edge. He can't. Tackled after a gain of about 5 by Xavier Alford.
They love that speed option in this offense. They'll run it to the field. They'll run it to the boundary. Become a staple of what they do. Retzloff does a nice job reading that defensive end. Perimeter runs, a big piece of this BYU offense, and it's going to be a big challenge for Arizona State all day to contain the perimeter.
BYU has this game and then next week against Houston. They give it to Marion on the jet sweep. This did not work on the first drive. This one here is close to a first down. They spot him at the 31, so that's enough to move the sticks.
It's a nice job by 5. Lassiter on the edge helps spring this run and allow Marion to get outside. And right on cue, they continue to try to work the perimeter with this rushing attack.
You mentioned Lassiter. His dad, Kwame, played in his stadium as an NFL player. The Arizona Cardinals. Kwame passed away a handful of years ago. Darius's mom, Erica, in the stands today, along with his brothers who played collegiately and also pro football. Darius was actually here as a member of Eastern Michigan. They beat Arizona State here 2 years ago. Swing to the tight end, Tasse. smacked at the 34. Gang tackling by the Sun Devils. They always fly to the football. That was Ghost Rouser leading the charge.
They really do. Brian Ward has got this defense engaged and flying around. Tremendous effort to the ball. A lot of zone coverage on the back end. We already touched on they don't bring a lot of pressures except for certain situations. It was good coverage down the field. Only thing that was there was the check down. And you see a lot of angry Devils rallying to the football.
You mentioned Brian Ward. He just got a contract extension announced today. So did Marcus Arroyo, the offensive coordinator. Martin with the carry straight ahead. Dragged down at the 38-yard line. Third down coming up.
Important third down as BYU needs to extend and keep this drive going. A good push there in the middle. And as LJ Martin checks out, they'll bring in Rapati. The other running back that you're going to see a lot of here today, Rapati, is typically more of a pass protector, but he's split out wide. An empty formation here for Retzlaff.
And a little sidearm swing pass to the receiver, Kingston, who gets the first down to the 48-yard line for 10 yards.
Well, this is excellent play design by Roderick. And Parker Kingston, he's got really good speed. Get him involved on the perimeter. All the linemen get out. Nice job out there on the edge, creating enough space and picking up the first down.
The 11th catch in the season for the former high school quarterback Parker Kingston. First down to the BYU 48. Rapid pace here in this first quarter. Already 3 minutes to go as Retzlaff in trouble, gets away from one man, flips it downfield, incomplete. And now flags come flying in. Retzlaff may have been hit late. Boy, Arizona State had a DB that read the snap count beautifully because he was going full speed and wasn't stopping, but did not commit an offside penalty. That was Miles
Personal
Rouser.
Foul, roughing the passer, number 30. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, this is really good pressure off the edge and just not smart here with that late hit. Viaseu comes in late, got to lay up. You cannot go in with the face in the hands after the quarterback delivers the ball. Kenny Dillingham does not like it whatsoever, but that's going to get called every time. We see more and more protecting the quarterback, and when you come in, even if it's a beat late, you got to lay off.
Yeah, 2 steps and then delivering a shot. You're going to get penalized every time. They try to run it here. Rapati bottled up, lost a yard. Boy, Kenny Dillingham, not surprised, though, to see that kind of fire. That's who he is. 34 years old, Phoenix native. He went to Arizona State. He was a grad assistant for the Sun Devils. Got an opportunity with Mike Norvell to go to Florida State, then went to Auburn, eventually Oregon, then got his dream job. And he told us yesterday it is his dream job, even back when he was a young coach in his 20s. I say young coach, he's only 34, but in his 20s, he'd tell his players back then that this was his dream job. And at that time, he was at Auburn. Empty set, Retzlaff from the pocket, passes tipped and intercepted at the 35-yard line. It's picked off by Crook.
Well, it's Prince Dorba who gets his right hand up, gets a pass deflection, and how about the athleticism from Jordan Crook diving to get the football? The Devils in business.
Well, from a guy that at one time played nose tackle with long hair to a sharp-dressed broadcaster, Dusty's defensive dudes.
We grind the tape and we find the dudes, and one of them this year for BYU has been Isaiah Glasker. I love his length and versatility, affects the run and the pass game. And then Miles Rouser, I love the physicality and violence he tackles with, flies around the field with bad intentions. Already helped impact on that last series. This wasn't one of the dudes, but how about Prince Dorba off the edge, shuts down the pass rush as he sees Retzlaff throw the ball, gets the left hand up, gets the pass deflection. I love the athleticism by Crook, identifying, locating the football, and getting the takeaway for the Sun Devils.
They go back to the ground attack on first down. Scadaboo pushing the pile past the 40 to the 41-yard line. Going to take the whole defense to get Scadaboo to the ground today, it looks like.
Just keeps those legs churning. I mean, you really, when we talked with these BYU defensive players, had a chance to talk with Tyler Batty, talked to the defensive coordinator, Jay Hill, about this challenge. They said, you got to wrap his legs up, you got to front him, and you got to get him to the ground. Tough to get that man down.
Play action. Might have been a broken play as Levitt takes off. Looked like he thought Scadaboo maybe made a mistake. And so it'll bring up 3rd and 2.
I mean, is there any question what we're expecting here, Dave Pash? 3rd and 2, and the way they've leaned on Cam Scadaboo so far, already 8 carries in this ball game, and really the interior of that offensive line just getting some really good push. Multiple tight ends checking into the game, and BYU is going to match that personnel with a couple of big guys entering.
Well, this is one of the areas Arizona State has improved greatly from last year's 3-9 team. They were 125th on 3rd down last year nationally. They're 16th this year. And 5 more wins. And they hand it off on a jet sweep to Stovall, and he's knocked down short of the line to gain. It's going to be 4th and 1.
I think we're going to see Kenny Dillingham go for it here, Dave. I'm surprised we didn't see him give it to Scadaboo. Good job by BYU defending the perimeter. But when you got one of the toughest running backs in college football to tackle, you're at home off a turnover, I think you lean on him. And let's not forget, they can even go to some wildcat quarterback if they want. Pistol here. This allows Scadaboo to really get downhill with this rushing attack.
Scadaboo stuffed initially, but with second effort, he appears to have a first down. Boy, that play right there, a microcosm of the career of Cam Scadaboo. He got hit a yard short of the line to gain, but just powered right through to move the chains.
It was Isaiah Glasker coming off the edge, hits him right at the line of scrimmage, but Cam Scadaboo not going to be denied. And the Arizona State Sun Devil fans love it. Kenny Dillingham loves it. The power from Scadaboo. Devils up early.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, delivered by Papa John's. This is the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. 7-0 Arizona State. Time now for our sideline report presented by Chili's. Here's Taylor.
Coach, what has stood out about the way you guys have been able to move the football early?
Yeah, we're establishing a line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. We got an offsides, personal foul on defense to really give them the chance to extend 2 drives. Other than that, we're playing good defense.
Thanks, Coach. Dave?
Certainly a Big 12 and National Coach of the Year candidate, Kenny Dillingham, from 3 wins last year to 8 and maybe more here in 2024. Pass is tipped and intercepted at the 42-yard line. On the redirection, it's Tanner Wall. Just the 5th interception of the season by Arizona State. There is a penalty flag down. If it stands, it'll be Wall's third
After the
pick
interception,
of the year.
illegal block in the back, number 93, BYU. That penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down, BYU.
Well, one thing that stood out to me about BYU's front is their length. Inside, John Nelson, watch as he works to the left, and he's going to get in the throwing lane of Sam Levitt. He's going to get his hand up, create this pass deflection off his helmet, as a matter of fact, as he jumps up right into the hands of Tanner Wall. 18th pick for this BYU defense. They've been opportunistic all throughout the course of the season, Dave Pash, and a timely takeaway for the Cougars.
Those 18 picks lead the country, and 23 takeaways are 6th in the nation. 11 different players with at least an INT for BYU. And with Arizona State driving, that's a critical momentum changer. Retzloff on the rollout, and his pass caught for a first down near midfield by Chase Roberts.
This is such a good route by Chase Roberts, working back to the quarterback, a deep comeback route. They protect this, they set it up well. Gonna roll Retzloff all the way to his right. See LJ Martin there for helping in the protection. And a good timely throw down the field to the top target, Chase Roberts.
2 catches already for Roberts, 44 on the season, had 42 all of last year. LJ Martin in trouble in the backfield and swarmed back at the 43-yard line. Kungaika leading the way as we look at our impact players delivered by Papa John.
We saw starting this drive a little impact from Chase Roberts, the outstanding wide receiver. As this game winds down, big critical moments, that's where they go. What more can we say about Cam Skattebo? Has been a major impact for Arizona State already in this ballgame.
Skattebo 52 rushing yards and a touchdown. But after the takeaway, BYU trying to set something up here on the screen, and an excellent open field tackle at the 45-yard line. LJ Martin dropped by Javen Robinson.
Robinson reads that screen so well, gets the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. The problem area for BYU once again, 3rd and super long, and they struggle in protection so far in this game. They've got to hold up, they've got to protect and give time for the quarterback. Multiple backs in the backfield, Dave. Could easily be to stay in and help protect.
Retzloff guns it to the sideline. What a throw. Roberts got the foot down. It's a first down at the Arizona State 41. It's a long throw from the far hash to the near sideline.
That was exactly right. Long throw, strong arm, cover 2. The corner comes up. He's the flat player. Safety doesn't get over the top. That soft spot and that cover 2 coverage, and an excellent find. And a 3rd down conversion from Jake Retzloff.
No offers coming out of high school in Corona, California. Went to 2 different junior colleges before getting a chance to play at BYU. Started 4 games last year. They didn't win any of them. But this year, a 9-1 record. Handoff to Rapati on first down, and another negative play created by the Arizona State defense. A loss of 1. That was Caleb McCullough, 5th-year senior, making the tackle.
Well, Caleb McCullough has been so good for this defense this year. Linebacking core in general, they rotate a lot of guys. A 5th-year senior, spent his entire career at Arizona State, and he's playing his best football of his career when it means the most. Nice job getting downhill, creating that negative play.
3 tackles for a loss on this drive by Arizona State after the turnover. Retzloff leaving the pocket and hoisting it deep downfield into double coverage. Almost picked off by Robinson. It was intended for Marion. 3rd and 11.
With double coverage there from Arizona State. Really nowhere for Retzloff to go with the football. He gambled and got fortunate. Really good job by Javen Robinson. 2nd nice plays made on this drive. Back in this 3rd down situation. We saw both backs stay in last time. They know they struggled protecting. Well, Brian Ward dial up another blitz. We've seen him bring a couple on 3rd down.
And now a penalty marker, BYU. Perhaps with too many men on the field at one point.
Illegal substitution. 12 players on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
So that now pushes them back to the 45. They need about 10 yards to get back into field goal range. Coming up tonight, the 2nd annual Las Vegas Grand Prix under the lights of the Strip. 1 a.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Our pre-race coverage begins at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN. I know you'll be staying up to watch that because your adrenaline's still going to be flowing from this game and all the great games we have on the ESPN networks. Bama at Oklahoma, our ABC Saturday primetime game. And don't forget A&M at Auburn tonight on ESPN when we're done. On 3rd and 16, Retzloff from the pocket dumps it off, and it's dropped by Lassiter. And BYU will have to punt.
They tried to set up a little wide receiver screen. He had blockers out in front, but just off the hands of Darius Lassiter, a player that's really stepped up this year, become much more reliable. He had some green grass out in front, but unable to bring that pass in. And a nice stop for Arizona State after the Cougars able to get the takeaway.
That penalty was huge because it put him in a situation. It's one thing to be able just to need 5 yards to be able to pick that up on that route, but to get 10 or maybe 15 on the first down, awfully tough. And their kicker's pretty good. So is their punter. BYU down there inside the 5. Vander Haar pinning him deep. 41-yard punt down at the 4. Arizona State backed up, but leading 7-0 on homecoming in Tempe.
Matt Berry in our college football studio. A lot of interest in the Kansas-Colorado game. Colorado in contention for the Big 12 championship. Devin Neal early goes 51 yards. Bad tackling by Colorado. And right now, Kansas on top, 10-0. Dusty and Dave?
Well, Matt, I'm sure you're keeping a close eye on this game while you're trying to do your job. Former Sun Devil.
He's got his forks up today, Dave. I can assure you that.
Scadaboo up the gut. And again, it takes 2 or 3 BYU players to get him down, and he still gets 5 yards. So let's take a look at the percentages for the teams in the Big 12 that are at the top to make the conference championship game. This is going into today. Colorado at 70%. BYU needs to win one of its last 2. Maybe both to get in. Arizona State still might need some help from an Iowa State loss, but there still are a number of scenarios in play, especially if Colorado and BYU both lose today. Levitt on 2nd and 5. Tackled by Batty after a gain of 3. Taylor.
Middle linebacker Harrison Taggart for BYU has been taken to the locker room. We do not know anything about his status, but we will keep you updated. And when they go to 3 linebackers, 31 Miles Hall has been coming in right now. He's being subbed in. So the redshirt freshman in to replace Harrison Taggart right now. That's
substantial. I mean, Taggart has been outstanding for this defense, leads them in tackles, always flying around the football. And you're going to lean on a redshirt freshman tackling one of the best running backs in college football. Great report and a storyline to keep an eye on.
And handed off to Brown, and he got the first down to the 17-yard line. So that'll move the chains. That was a big 3rd down conversion. BYU has not really been able, other than the pick, to stop ASU's offense.
How about Cam Scadaboo with the key block? He stones Miles Hall right at the point of contact and helps allow the space to get the first down. Cam Scadaboo affecting this game in a multitude of ways. He's going to catch it, obviously run it, and right there on a nice 3rd down conversion as a blocker.
Levitt off play action, just his 5th pass attempt of the game, and it's caught for a first down by Tyson. And he's still going. Tyson breaking a tackle. Finally dragged down at the 29-yard line. A gain of 44.
Well, Jordan Tyson has been one of the best receivers in college football the last month of the season. It starts with the route and then the competitive catch working back to the football. Missed time there by the BYU Cougar defender. And Jordan Tyson with a big chunk gain after the catch and all of a sudden completely flipping the field for the Sun Devils.
And we wondered at what point would Tyson get going. And that was it right there. The reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. Scadaboo now taken down backside at the line of scrimmage by Miles Hall. Well, no gain on the play. But Jordan Tyson has really come on of late. He's now tied with Travis Hunter as the ball came out here. Yeah, Hall definitely punched it loose. It just happened to bounce right back to Scadaboo. Didn't see that live, but recovered by Arizona State nonetheless. Jordan Tyson is tied with Travis Hunter atop the Big 12 for most receiving touchdowns. And that's saying something given how good Hunter is in the Heisman discussion, of course. Levitt, Tyson, and good coverage that time by BYU. Glasker with the hit. 3rd down.
And Marcus Arroyo, offensive coordinator, does a really good job moving him all over, Dave. You'll see him line up all over the place. And it's one of those things, it's like the defense knows it's going to him. Everyone knows that he still finds a way to get open and make plays. But when you can window dress and you can hide him, move him around, makes it that much more difficult for opposing defenses to stop.
Tyson was at Colorado last year, had 23 catches for transferring to Arizona State. 3rd down and 6. Levitt from the pocket finds Tyson. He stepped out of bounds. Did he get the first down? No, they're going to mark him short. And they've had all kinds of issues with their kicking, so you would imagine they go for it.
And right on cue, now he's in the backfield. It's like, where's Waldo? But it's where's Jordan Tyson. Another find on 3rd down.
At one point, Dusty, they held kicking tryouts. They were having so many issues. They had a made field goal last week, which was their first since week 4, so no surprise they're going here.
No surprise at all. He told us 4th and 4 is shorter. We're going for situations like this, and especially when you got 4 in the backfield.
Quarterback sneak, and Levitt gets it easily to the 18-yard line.
But typically in those spots you see more of a goal line look, and the A gap just wide open. That's smart play by Sam Levitt. They had nobody in that A gap. Quarterback steps up, sees it, takes the easy 1st down.
Boy, look how fast this first half has been. We kicked off about 50 minutes ago real time, and we're more than halfway through the 2nd quarter because of all the run plays by Arizona State. Levitt in trouble, steps away from the defender and dives past the 15 down to the 12-yard line. So gain of 6. Tyler Batty had a chance to take down the quarterback, but could not.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Tyler Batty's going to work inside. He gets home. Here's the athleticism we talk about with Sam Levitt. Eyes down the field, feels that rush, and then quickly gets up the field and prevents a negative sack and gets a nice, decent pickup to put him in 2nd manageable. Heads up play, and just shows you how difficult Sam Levitt is to deal with for a defense with that mobility.
Gonna throw it here to Tyson out in space. Gets a good block from Guillory, and it's going to be 1st and goal. A chance for Arizona State to go up 2 scores.
Guillory on the outside. Excellent job blocking Robinson on the edge. Helps set this up and get the Sun Devils back inside the 5-yard line.
And given all the struggles the last few weeks offensively by BYU, just 2 touchdowns in the last 2.5 games. To go up 14-0 late in the first half would make it awfully difficult on the road team. It was the big play by Tyson, 44-yard catch that got him down here. Now a pass into the end zone is broken up. Tyson stumbled as he was being defended by Robinson. 2nd and goal.
It's a good job by Robinson. As he's backpedaling, he starts to fall down, but he gets that left hand in there, creates the pass breakup. Jacob Robinson, 11 career interceptions, one of the best cover guys for BYU, and a good job on 1st down.
Dusty Tyson was signaling, he was pointing to the air like throw it up, jump ball. Let's see if they go back to him here. Play 12 of a 7-minute drive coming up.
I think I'd go back to him. I think I'd hand it to 4. Here's Tyson, bottom of your screen.
It will be Scadaboo, and he's into the end zone for the 2nd time already. Touchdown, ASU. The drive started at the 5-yard line, and they took almost 7 minutes to march down the field and make it a 2-score game. (14-0) Devils.
Well, it's been a physical brand of football for Arizona State. And off the right side, Ihanichor, the right tackle. This is what it's supposed to look like. An excellent job as Cam Scadaboo into the end zone yet again.
Taco Bell Live Más student section all season long. Student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Dusty, in over 20 years of living in the Valley, I don't know that I've ever seen the stadium quite this boisterous and this full. The Notre Dame home game 10 years ago was a big deal, but that was early in the season, and that was also during the BCS era. You didn't have a college football playoff. Now with the expanded playoff, it brings in a school like Arizona State as they try an onside kick, and it hit a BYU player, and it looked like it's recovered by the Devils. It hit all three of BYU, and Arizona State comes up with the ball.
What a call by Kenny Dillingham. He smells blood in the water, and he's going to pounce. Up 2 scores. They want more. It's been all about the Devils here in this first half.
Jamori Williams with the fumble recovery for Arizona State. First successful onside kick in 7 years.
Well, here's where it's going to happen. It's very well executed. This is a hot kick. Alfrey does not field it clean. Off his leg. 41 for Arizona State, jumps on top. And all of a sudden now, this possession for BYU defensively, they've got to get a stop. They go down 3 scores. The way they're built, it's going to be very difficult to get back in this ball game.
Scadaboo on first down. Able to break one tackle and another, and then they finally get him out of bounds. Well, going back to your point on BYU, the comeback win against Utah 2 weeks ago where they struggled offensively. Last week they end up losing, don't score enough points at home. And now you got a team that was ranked 6th at one point. They lose today. Now there's a chance they're not even in the Big 12 championship game.
They felt really good about the week of preparation, the ability to bounce back after the loss at Kansas. But here in this first half, they are taking Arizona State's best shot.
Levin on the rollout. In trouble. Gets rid of the ball at the last second. Incomplete before he's dragged down by Blake Mengelson.
Vital. BYU finds a way to get a stop, and they better identify 0 Jordan Tyson. Locate him, cheat a safety over. Jay Hill told us 0 will not beat us. They're going to have to find somebody else. So far in this first half, that last drive, 0 beats you. He had 4 catches for 71 yards. And best believe Sam Levitt's going to look his direction.
So Plas Johnson with the recovery of the onside kick, but only 3 yards on first and second down. And now on 3rd and 7, Levitt over the middle, complete for a first down to Mateer, the tight end. Down to the 31.
Well, Mateer, no one stays with him. Good job by Mateer. He's going to start like he's blocking, and then just a shallow cross through the middle of the field. The linebackers continue to seek. No one identifies Mateer. Easy pitch and catch, and a nice job by the big tight end, rumbling after the catch.
If this is the first time you've watched Arizona State this year, you're probably wondering, where has this been? How come we haven't heard of the Sun Devils? But this is kind of the year it's been for them, as Scadaboo straight ahead inside the 30. They were 3-9 last year in year 1 for Kenny Dillingham. We asked him yesterday, are you ahead of schedule? He said, yes. We thought this would be next year we would be at this stage.
I said, were you surprised? He said, yeah, we were shocked. We weren't expecting this. What they've done, though, Dave, they've gotten better and better throughout the course of the season. What a statement win it was last week in Manhattan. And they're off to a similar start here with this lead up on BYU, playing with a ton of confidence right now as a program.
Scadaboo again. And comes up just short of the line to gain. 3rd down as we near 2 minutes to play in the half. Now Dillingham grew up in Phoenix, went to Chaparral as a coach. Got hurt in high school at age 17, so he started to coach. Eventually ended up here at Arizona State. And he's the 2nd youngest coach in FBS at age 34. Big 3rd down and 1 here for his team, but we're at the 2-minute timeout first.
I'm Matt Barry. Coming up on the Lexus halftime report, plenty to talk about, including this Kansas-Colorado game. Devin Neal gets in from 4 yards out, his second touchdown of the game. And then Travis Hunter and Colorado finally get on the board. 51 yards for Hunter. Right now, the Heisman frontrunner. Highlights of that and more. No better guys calling a Sun Devil game than Dustin Dvorak and Dave Patch. I don't want to see it in
Matt, if both Colorado and BYU lose, there will be a 4-way tie for first in the Big 12 at 5-2. Bring a couple of extra offensive linemen in here on 3rd down and 1. Scadaboo. Again a broken tackle, and he can walk in. Touchdown. 3rd of the first half for Cam Scadaboo. Signing autographs after he scores. Signing a football for a fan right after he hit pay dirt.
Kickoff. That's number 4's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Yeah, that's because Scadaboo again went and signed a football for a fan after the touchdown. And that will not please Kenny Dillingham. As happy as he was with the score, he is making a beeline for his player to let him know he wasn't happy with that. But it's 21-0 Sun Devils.
We've talked all game about Cam Scadaboo and his physicality. How about the physicality of this offensive line? This left side, watch him cave everything down. 28 Tanner Wall comes off the edge. You're not going to arm tackle Cam Scadaboo. The O-line's trucking people, and Scadaboo's rolling to the end zone. It's all Devils.
Cam Scadaboo, 3 rushing touchdowns, 96 yards in all. BYU, meanwhile, with only 18 rushing yards. But a penalty on Scadaboo for signing a football after scoring a touchdown. Got chewed out by Kenny Dillingham as if to say, we have not arrived yet. Settle down. We got a half a football and more to go. And now Arizona State is kicking off from its 20. Remember, they just recovered an onside kick on their last kickoff, but you've got the very dangerous Keelan Marion back for BYU. Let's see if they kick it away from him. Popped up into the air. Marion waiting for it on his 23. 2 returns for touchdowns this year. Great coverage, though, by Arizona State. BYU will have it on its 35 with 1:46 to go in the half. Now a quick word from Verbo.
Defenses so far have been stingy, and that really showed in the...
Done?
Look, if you want a house without a host, you should have booked a Verbo. Like I was saying, both teams have really good defenses, and it really showed in the second half.
Well, this has been a house that hasn't been this raucous in a long time here in Tempe. It is packed, sold out. Arizona State Sun Devil fever in the Valley. The student section going wild. Inching closer to perhaps a shot at the Big 12 title and a college football playoff spot. They're up 21-0. Ropati on the pitch. Gets about 5 before Rouser brings him down.
There's the speed option we talked about earlier. One of their go-to plays. And Jake Retzloff, very good in this 2-minute offense. He's had multiple end-of-game drives to win football games. Navigates this time as well as anybody.
Retzloff to the air, but penalty marker down. Or a timeout actually first before the flag.
Prior to the snap, Arizona State has called their first charge timeout of the half.
So timeout by the defense, Arizona State. Kick off your Week 12 NFL Sunday with a countdown crew. They'll have previews of each game right up until kickoff, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. And then Monday night, matchup of the Harbaugh brothers. And Jim's team has won 4 straight. The Chargers taking on John's Ravens. 8 Eastern, ABC, ESPN. Peyton and Eli back on ESPN2. That was one of the better Super Bowls in the last 20 years, that matchup when the Ravens beat the Niners.
Who's got it better than them, Dave? Other than you and me. Maybe Kenny Dillingham. He's got it going pretty well. His dream job, but awesome to see the Hardballs matching up. And you're right, that Super Bowl, that was the lights out Super Bowl, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Pause in the action.
Speaking of Super Bowl 30 was played here. That great national championship between Ohio State and Miami in 03 was here. And this is one of the bigger games in this stadium since, as Retzlaff's pass is caught coming back as Roberts. And they'll have a first down. The clock stopped to move the chains.
A nice job by Chase Roberts working back to the football. Does he get those arms underneath? Ooh, it's close, Dave. They're going to snap this one quick.
They still have all their timeouts, and they did blow it dead before the snap.
Prior to the snap, previous play of a completed pass for first down is under further review.
As he gets his arms underneath this, does that ball touch the ground? He does not catch it clean with his forearms. We had a very quick look at it. We'll take another look here. So Roberts goes down to the ground to get the football. Well, I think that ball hits the ground, Dave. I think that the ground helps him secure that catch. I think they're going to overturn this.
Agreed. So that would negate a 13-yard gain and make it 3rd and 5.
BYU, when we talked to them yesterday, Dave, they had a confidence about them. They thought they were going to come out and play much better than they did a week ago. Retzlaff was healthier. Even Aaron Roderick thought they had some opportunities with some matchups. There was great respect for what Arizona State's done. But you could tell, and we've done enough BYU games under Kalani Sitake, he thought his team was going to show up and perform well. And well, it's been anything but that here in this first half. They have taken an uppercut from Arizona State throughout the course of this first half. It has been somewhat shocking to see how dominant the Sun Devils have been these first 29 minutes.
Especially with all that's at stake. BYU, if it wins today with some help, could get itself into the Big 12 championship. And with the expanded playoff, it's not a guarantee that the Big 12 champ would be in, because it's the top 5 highest ranked conference champs that get the automatic bid. But most people assume that the Big 12 champ will be in. And again, if the Cougars were to lose and Colorado were to lose, you got a 4-way tie for first. Iowa State plays at Utah today. Kansas State next week. They would be 5-2. Arizona State, if it were to hang on, would be 6-2. Colorado, BYU, both 6-2 with losses, but obviously we got a ways to go here and a ways to go in Kansas City.
And back to the big picture of college football, just so great for the sport that this many teams are involved in
After
conference.
review, the ball hits the ground. It's an incomplete pass.
It's so many.
Third down at the 40-yard line. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1:22.
So many more teams are involved in the conversation as it relates to the playoffs. We talked with Kalani Sitake about that yesterday. He loves it. Kenny Dillingham loves it. Fans do as well. It's been great.
And look at the swing if this continues for BYU and for Arizona State. For some reason, BYU should come back. The percentages with a loss of somehow getting to the Big 12 title game. But I agree with you. People wondered if regular season college football would be better in November. We have our answer thanks to the expansion of the college football playoff. Retzlaff has a completion right at the sticks. Lassiter pulls it in. It's going to be a first down. 1:14 on the clock.
Well, it's a good route by Lassiter. Gets right past the line to gain, shuts it down. Nice target for Retzlaff to deliver the football.
Feels like BYU's got to get something. Arizona State will get the ball to start the second half. They've been in plus territory twice, and a penalty on BYU. Plus territory, but an interception and a punt by the Cougars so far in this first half, and they were getting closer, but now they're backed up 5 yards.
Number 5, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down. BYU is calling a charge timeout to avoid the 10-second subtraction, 30 seconds in length.
So that leaves them with 2 timeouts.
Was so punitive up top. Lassiter just starts moving way too early. Just can't have those kind of mistakes when you're climbing out of a 21-point hole.
Yeah, a terrific slate for you. How about Florida? Billy Napier, 2 straight upsets, beat LSU. Ole Miss today. Ole Miss really in trouble when it comes to the college football playoff. So that means the Bama, Oklahoma, A&M, Auburn games all of a sudden become that much bigger, especially for A&M, and they are on upset alert. Would you agree with that?
No doubt. That game at Auburn tonight, I'm expecting a wild crowd there in Auburn, Alabama. Hadn't been the best of year for that football team, but they still have talent. Crowd's going to be into it. That's no gimme whatsoever for Mike Elko and Texas A&M, but a lot of people keeping an eye on that Ole Miss Florida game today. It's going to impact those rankings come Tuesday.
Tennessee will move up. Maybe SMU as well. SMU, which lost to BYU, but is ranked ahead of BYU. And wide open out in space is Rapati. Inside the 40 and shoved out of bounds at the 33-yard line. A gain of 24. BYU with its best drive yet.
Well, Arizona State's in zone coverage, and no one accounts for Rapati out in the flats. Good find by Retzloff, and a nice job by Rapati getting nice yards after the catch and getting out of bounds quickly.
So 57 seconds left, 2 timeouts, plenty of time for BYU. Inside 2 minutes, so first downs. Clock will stop to reset the chains. He was out of bounds, so the clock starts on the snap on this play. Arizona State showing pressure, 5-man rush. Retzloff in trouble, steps up, bottled up, brought down, back at the 38-yard line. Keyshawn Elliott was there first.
BYU's got to take a timeout here, and they're going to do so. You mentioned the pressure. They brought the pressure, but it was well picked up. It's the coverage on the back end. No one able to come open for Retzloff to distribute the football to. And then the pressure comes late. Retzloff tries to navigate that pocket, find some running space, but nowhere to go. It's really well done by Arizona State, caging in the quarterback as he's looking to scramble and get some yards. The offensive struggles of BYU continue throughout this first half, Dave.
Yeah, the interception by Retzloff. He threw a pick last week. They had a punt go off of a BYU player last week that was recovered. Critical play late that Kansas got, ended up scoring to win the game. And offensively, they just don't have enough firepower to overcome those mistakes. They were living dangerously for a while and had a handful of come from behind wins, including a controversial finish against Utah. The Ute athletic director got in trouble for some comments after the game, thought that they were robbed. BYU coming off its lone loss of the season, trying to bounce back. Retzloff going to get hit as he throws. Deep ball and incomplete. Trying to hit Keelan Marion. Retzloff slow to get up after taking a shot that time from Dorba.
Well, he took a big hit coming off this edge. Looked like Clayton Smith wins with a good speed rush. A big hit on the quarterback. Dorba hit him from one side, Clayton Smith from the other. And they just got to at least get in field goal range here, Dave. I mean, obviously, touchdown makes sense, but they got to come away with points before halftime, something to build upon. You don't need the entire 15, but you got to give your kicker, Will Ferrin, an opportunity.
Got to wonder about the health of Retzloff. He played through injury last week, we were told last night by the BYU coaches. Pressure again. Retzloff stepping up. He's got a lot of green in front of him, so he'll take off. And he's down at the 30-yard line, inbounds, so they're going to have to use a timeout here because he's short of the line to gain.
He hesitated so long before he decided he was going to run. It's a quality tackle by Shamari Simmons out in space. Intrigued to see what Kalani Sitake is going to do here, Dave.
Arizona State called the timeout there. They'd love to get the ball back again. What would you do here? It's about a 49-yard field goal. Will Ferrin's made a 54-yarder, made a 44-yarder to beat Utah 2 weeks ago.
you're down 3 scores. Look, I get field goals. You could easily say field goals aren't going to get you back into this game. You need touchdowns. I just think they need points on the board. There's a lot of trust in their kicker, Will Farron. I'd kick the football. I'd try to come away with some points here, something to build upon. You get stopped on 4th down, all of a sudden now that's even more momentum for Arizona State going into the half and good field position. So I think this is the right call by Kalani Sitake.
He's one of the better kickers in the Big 12, 19 of 22 on the season. Got to get the right guys on the field, though. You saw an 11th man running out there late. 49-yard field goal try to get BYU on the board. And Farron drills it. And the Cougars get points with 25 seconds to go in the first half. Well, this season, All-State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State.
It's got to have some kind of positive momentum, Dave. Got to have something. I mean, it at least gives something. I'm sure Kalani Sitake is not going to be happy as he talked to this team at halftime, but at least being able to get points on the board with your final possession. Biggest positive the Cougars can look at from this first half.
The last time Arizona State won a conference championship outright was when they were in the Pac-10 in 1996. Under Dennis Erickson, they were co-champs in 2007. They hosted the conference championship game in 2013, but lost to Stanford. The last time they finished the home campaign unbeaten was 2004. They have a 21-3 lead. They're going to get the ball back with a timeout. And so a touchback, it will come out to the 25-yard line. Well, mentioned this earlier, but if this is the first time you're watching Arizona State, you're probably wondering, why haven't I watched more of them? Because they're physical.
Yeah.
They're tough, and you could tell very well coached.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're playing with a ton of confidence. I mean, what we've seen, especially from this offense and the running game, has been incredible. We're going to focus so much on Cam Scadaboo, but the offensive line has been straight doing work against a BYU defense coming into today was #1 in the Big 12. It's been unbelievably impressive to watch, and best believe Kenny Dillingham, he's going to be excited about what he's seen the first half, but he's going to want more of this in the second half from his football team to finish the job and complete the undefeated home season.
Trying to get to 9-2, 6-2 in the Big 12, trying for their 4th straight win. And remember, one of their losses, Sam Levitt, their quarterback, didn't play. That was against Cincinnati. The committee will consider all of that as ASU tries to inch closer to a Big 12 title game appearance. As we check in with Taylor and Coach.
Coach, up 2 scores. What went into the decision to kick the onside kick?
Yeah, I mean, we were squibbing it, and we were saying, hey, if we're going to squib it, we may as well try to hit the guy on the way to the squib. And he did a good job hitting him. It was like a dual squib kick, onside kick.
Thank you. Dave?
Thank you.
34-year-old head coach living out his dream, an ASU grad. His dream job, and his team is up at halftime by 18. Lexus halftime report coming up.
You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Welcome back to ESPN College Football, delivered by Papa John's. From Tempe, Arizona, you're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. Arizona State dominating BYU through one half of play, 21-3. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak with Taylor McGregor down on the field, and Arizona State trying to inch closer to a spot in the Big 12 championship game and the college football playoff after being picked last preseason in the conference. And Cam Scadaboo, a transfer from Sacramento State. Phenomenal, proving he's one of the best running backs in the country.
We thought that coming in, and boy, he's lived up to it. He was fantastic. 16 carries, 96 yards, 3 touchdowns. This sequence really flipped the game. Second touchdown today, the excellent blocking, and then the physical running. Right after that, Kenny Dillingham, boy, he rolls the dice, kicks the onside kick, and then they pay it off. How about the left sideline blocking, caving everything down? You try to arm tackle Cam Scadaboo, you're going to get burned.
Our spotlight brought to you by Gillette. 3 rushing touchdowns in that half, 14 on the season. He's 9th in the country in rushing yards per game at 119, and he's already got 96. Arizona State will get the ball to start the second half. First, here's Taylor.
Physicality on the line of scrimmage has to improve. That is what Kalani Sitake told me if BYU wants to win this game. But he said we have to dig deeper. He told me that defensive end Tyler Batty got up in front of the team at half and said everybody should look at the guy next to them. That's who you're playing for. They are disappointed in the way they have performed so far, and they believe they have to dig deep to win this game.
Just a week ago, ranked 6th in the country, undefeated, but they lost at home to Kansas, and now down 18 to start the second half here in Arizona.
And BYU prides itself on being a physical football team. It was all Arizona State in that department in the first half.
Wide receiver screen on first down, and out to the 30-yard line is Jordan Tyson, who had a big first half.
Jordan Tyson, he had a slow start to the game, but then Sam Leavitt really started to locate his top target.
We were talking about this being the biggest home game in at least 10 years to that Notre Dame game where they're up by 18 points at one point. Some think this is bigger given what's at stake now in the college football playoff era and the 12-team playoff era. Scadaboo gets the first down and again delivers a strike to the defender. This guy loves contact. He told us that when we spoke to him this week, and boy, is that on display.
Was the counter, pull backside guard and tackle, and then finishing the run, lowering the shoulder from Cam Scadaboo.
And that's on Batty, who's a 275-pound defensive end. Scadaboo at 225, and he's the one delivering the hit.
I asked him about that. What's that like, running through somebody? He said it's man on man. He loves nothing more than when he can use that physical nature, physical style of running and impose his will on a defender.
Scadaboo wrapped up after a short gain of 1 that time by Batty. Scadaboo told us a big reason why he came to Arizona State from Sacramento State. Kenny Dillingham and the energy that the head coach provides, the positivity.
He's just got a vibe about him, Dave. Meeting with him yesterday, the players talked about it. Marcus Arroyo talked about it. The energy, the juice, everything that Kenny Dillingham has brought to this program is paying dividends, and it's why they're where they're at in year number 2.
Leavitt's pass to the sideline to Tyson. He steps out. It's going to bring up third down. Be 3rd and 5.
Important third down here for this BYU defense. A lot of BYU fans in attendance. Isaiah Glasker's asking for them to get up on their feet, create some noise, create some juice. Can this Cougar defense get off the field?
Cougars need something good to happen to get momentum back. They did get points just before intermission. Not much to smile about, though, if you're a BYU fan in the first half. Leavitt in trouble, and wrapped up and sacked by Miles Hall. Penalty marker is down on the near side, though. And the officials are signaling that it's against the defense.
Holding number 2, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic.
That's on a defensive back. Mark Collins downfield gets called for holding on a wide receiver.
Boy, what a devastating penalty on Mark Collins, and guess who he's working on? It's Jordan Tyson. Gets that right arm up. That's a tackle. I mean, that's an easy call for the official. It negates a perfectly timed blitz by Miles Hall. Would have gotten the defense off the field. And now it's a first down for the Sun Devils crossing midfield.
back to Scadaboo. Down to the 44. Tackled by Hall, but other than that sack, which went for naught because of the penalty, they're having trouble getting anything done at the line of scrimmage. Almost every carry by Scadaboo, he's getting touched 4 to 5 yards downfield. And he's ripping through arm tackles a lot in this game. Now he's got 107 yards.
What's the entire offensive line? Leaf Fautanu, the center, 53 starts under his belt here on senior day. He's the key cog in that offensive line and them getting work done this afternoon.
Levitt to Scadaboo out in space. And again a broken tackle. Scadaboo first down to the 35.
Well, Arizona State has an excellent screen game. And we're going to see that here. Just get the ball out in space. Lineman getting out in front, but it's not the lineman getting it done. It's Cam Scadaboo just refusing to go down. Whether you're handing the ball, throwing the ball, it's rinse and repeat, and it's been a problem for BYU this entire game, tackling number 4.
Kyson Brown, the backup tailback, and a nice hit that time by Collins. You know, we were talking about Kenny Dillingham earlier, the energy that he brings to the table. One of the things that the players love about him is he's genuine. They know where he stands on this program. Lifelong Arizona State fan, big-time Cardinals fan. In fact, his family 3 times has been named Tailgate Fan of the Year. That's how diehard they are about the local NFL team. To 5-win turnaround this year, trying to make it 6, up 21-3, but Levitt going back to throw, and he's got Stovall inside the 10. It's going to be first and goal for Arizona State.
Well, a little screen and go here on the outside. They're going to fake it, and Stovall is just going to hit the sidelines, and nobody goes with him. This time it's Jordan Tyson as a decoy, draws the entire defense up, and it's a wide open Stovall for a big gain.
Got a quad formation at the bottom of the screen here, and an empty backfield on first and goal. Levitt throwing it to Scadaboo. That was read well by BYU. Mark Collins with the initial hit. Just a 1-yard gain, maybe 2.
We were asking Scadaboo what NFL players he looks at. He mentioned Christian McCaffrey, different body type, but then he said Mike Allstott. Even though Allstott's from a different generation, he said he went back, he watched some of Mike Allstott's film, and he said, yeah, you know, I can see the similarity, seeing some Mike Allstott-esque type of punishment being doled out here this afternoon, even on that short gain there, makes Mark Collins a corner pay on initial contact.
Scadaboo straight ahead. And hard to get him down at the ankles. Miles Hall was holding on for dear life, but still Scadaboo able to spin forward to get an additional yard. And for BYU, a must-stop situation now on 3rd and goal. With the clock moving, it's been a very short game because of all the run plays by Arizona State. Play 11 of a 6.5-minute drive coming up.
Shimon Mateer, the tight end, been a good red zone target for this offense. And obviously Jordan Tyson, a guy whose name we've called all throughout this ball game.
Levitt rolling out. Has time, directing traffic back of the end zone. Incomplete, off the fingertips of Mateer, who is open in the corner. And it's 4th and goal.
Boy, they set this up so perfect. Mateer going to be on the throwback, all the way back across in the corner of the end zone. He's got to come up with that ball. That ball was put perfectly on his hands, unable to bring it in.
Kenny Dillingham electing to go for it. Do you like this here? 4th and goal.
Oh, I'm surprised. I thought we would definitely see him kick the field goal and go back up 3 touchdowns.
Again, they've had issues with their kicking this year. ESPN Analytics agrees with us, but maybe because of the problems with the kicker. Dillingham going for it on 4th and goal. Levitt to his left, now fires high and incomplete. There's a flag down in the backfield though.
Looked like a chop to me,
Personal
Dave.
foul, chop block, number 77 and 4. Offense, penalties decline. Ball goes over. First down, BYU.
A huge stop.
Timeout on the
Finally for BYU.
Just surprised by this. Back in the end zone. Wouldn't have mattered even if he would have caught it. The penalty was going to be there, but it's a big stop for BYU.
Well, going into the year, BYU was picked 13th, Arizona State last in the Big 12. Utah was picked first, and Colorado wasn't even in the top 8. But here we are with just a couple weeks left in the regular season, and you got BYU atop the standings with 1 loss, Colorado with 1 loss, Arizona State and Iowa State with 2 losses apiece, potentially a 4-way tie for first by day's end.
Shows what members of the media like yourself know in the preseason, Dave.
What are you talking me? I didn't pick the Big 12 standings. Here's LJ Martin. That's his best run of the day. Just his 6th carry. He gets a first down. Arizona State electing to go for it on 4th and goal instead of kicking a field goal. If BYU goes down the field and scores, the game changes. Massive change in momentum. That's an excellent job to start this drive.
We didn't see LJ Martin really get anything going the entire first half. And on his first touch here in the second half, a nice chunk run for 12 yards.
He had more rushing yards on that carry than he had the entire first half. Got 2 100-yard games on the season. Let's see if they lean on him again on first down from just outside the 15. This time Martin hit in the backfield, and down he goes. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. That was Justin Watley.
Justin Watley going to work inside. Good job along the line of scrimmage. We've seen a lot of this from the Arizona State defense. A lot of negative plays, a quick swim inside. The left guard, a nice tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Retzloff to the air on second down. Marion with the catch. Ripped to the ground at the 23, about 3 yards short of a first down.
Important third down here for BYU. They had some issues in protection in that first half. They're going to keep LJ Martin in the game. Sometimes you see Rapati come in pass situations. LJ Martin, a viable candidate to catch the football in the backfield.
Quick pass. Marion with a first down grab at the 28-yard line. Wrestled down by Welch.
Just cushion out there. Retzloff sees the cushion, and it's good identification by Marion. Shuts down his route just past the sticks, and a big first down for the Cougars.
Retzloff maybe getting into a little bit of a rhythm for the first time. Completion to midfield. Lassiter. A gain of 21, and BYU with its best drive in a long time.
Well, this is an excellent route by Lassiter on the dig. Gets enough depth over the linebackers, underneath the safeties, and a dime from Jake Retzloff.
Retzloff completing his last 3 passes. LJ Martin with a touch here. Down to the 44. Gain of 6 on first down.
This is a different BYU offense than we saw the entire first half. Push in the run game. Confidence from the quarterback. All of a sudden right now, they've got this Arizona State defense on its heels for what seems like the first time all day.
This drive started inside the 5. Retzloff to the air. Long throw sideline, and Marion comes back to make a nice catch at the 31. Gain of 13 and a first down.
With the strong hands here by Marion, and he's going to fall down as he's working back to this football on the comeback. Goes to the ground, but the good strong hands able to fight through the contact from Robinson.
Not really surprising that we're seeing Retzloff get going. He's had a great year. He's got 2 fourth-quarter comeback touchdown drives that he's engineered. Former junior college transfer. 9-1 as a starter this year. But his team is down 18. They need to get in the end zone here. Pulls it back, throws it deep, got a receiver. It's caught and then dropped. Oh, Marion had it, and then he put it on the ground. Would have been a touchdown. Check that. It's Phillips who could not bring it in. It'll be third down.
Boy, this is perfectly timed up. You got to catch this ball if you're JoJo Phillips. You can't throw it any better than that. Right on the hands. Unable to complete the process of the catch into the end zone. Dialed up the play action, took their shot. Phillips wins one-on-one, but a drop in the end zone.
First time he's been targeted today, only 7 catches on the year. Retzloff sidearms it to Lassiter, and Lassiter taken down at the 25. There's a penalty marker in the secondary. Back at the 5-yard line.
Illegal substitution. Defense, there were 12 players on the field at the snap. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Arizona State trying to substitute, players trying to still coming off the field. So we'll see one of the Sun Devil defenders unable to get off before Retzloff gets that ball snapped. Free play and an easy 5 yards.
So now 2nd and 5, just outside 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Retzloff is feeling it right now, Dave. Throwing the ball with a ton of confidence and accuracy.
Had 4 straight completions before that drop by Phillips. And on a trick play, Marion takes the pitch, gets the first down to the 16-yard line. A penalty flag is down. Boy, there are a lot of bodies around where that ball was being delivered by Retzloff to the receiver, Marion, coming on the reverse.
It's going to be a block in the back at the end of the play, Dave. And he didn't even need it.
Discussion, there is no foul on the play.
Okay.
Result of play is a first down, BYU.
That's a huge first down for BYU, now in the red zone.
Look, I like this play call. That's a little misdirection. I talked earlier, they run so much speed option. So they're going to fake the speed option, and they're going to send Marion back across the other way. Misdirection. Just get their speedster wide receiver in space. And a first down.
This drive started inside the BYU 5 after Arizona State went for it instead of kicking a short field goal and did not get it on 4th and goal. Fresh set of downs for BYU at the ASU 17. Retzloff stepping up, being chased, makes a defender miss inside the 10-yard line before he steps out of bounds. Gain of about 7 on that first down run.
Well, this is so smart by Retzloff. Nothing's there down the field. He steps up. He got a little shake to him, Dave. Taking defenders to his knees. But Terrence Welch left hugging air. And a nice pickup.
You look at what BYU did the first 8 games in the red zone. Outstanding in terms of getting into the end zone. They have not been able to get points the last 2 games. They barely beat Utah. They lost at home to Kansas. They're down 18 here, but a chance to get into the end zone on 2nd down. Retzloff to Lassiter, almost pulled it in. Incomplete pass, Robinson in coverage, 3rd down.
With this ball just too far for Lassiter. He tries with one hand to bring it in. A little bit too much on that football. Good coverage down in the end zone by Robinson. You start to wonder, is this 4-down territory for Kalani Sitake? Field goal would cut it to 15. A lot of options right here, but BYU needs a touchdown.
Hand off to Marion on the jet sweep, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, BYU. The Cougars make the most of Arizona State's 4th down failure. They go down the field, almost the length of the field, and are back in it.
Well, the left side of the offensive line is going to go one way, everybody else going to go the other. They're going to go here, and you're going to see the defensive tackle is left untouched. And you get Marion the football, you freeze that D tackle, Jeff Clark, he looks back inside. It allows Marion to get to the edge and into the end zone, and a massive BYU touchdown.
BYU lining up to go for 2. They're 1 of 2 on the season on 2-point conversion attempts. Trying to get it to a 10-point game. 2:49 to go in the third.
Two backs in the backfield.
Retzloff will throw instead. Pump fake. Fires. Incomplete. Going for Roberts. There's a flag down. Two flags actually in the end zone. Abney in coverage. Flag deep in the end zone. And a flag about 2 yards into the end zone.
Pass interference number 2. Defense. That penalty will be enforced. Half the distance to the goal. Retry.
That's on Alford. So another chance here for BYU to go for 2.
Haven't called Alford's name very much. One of the best cover safeties in all of college football. He just gets tangled up with Chase Roberts. That left arm creates the contact, and as Roberts goes to the ground, it draws the flag. You got to think about handing the football off here too, Dave. You got L.J. Martin in the backfield. You got a heavy set off the left side. Big personnel in the game.
Martin runs into his own man and tackled short of the goal line. Good penetration by Arizona State. Watley with the tackle, and it stays 21-9.
Well, it started with Kenny Dillingham electing not to kick the field goal. It was a big stop for BYU, and they go the length of the field, 96 yards. They cap it off with a big touchdown run from Keelan Marion. They could not get the two-point conversion as the Sun Devils bow their necks. We got a ball game. It's Hippie.
There's never been a playoff like this. The new 12-team college football playoff begins with the first round December 20th and 21st.
Tuesday at 8 Eastern on ESPN, the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25. Reese and the gang breaking it down from top to bottom, talking all things 12-team playoff. The Big 12 champion likely gets one of the 5 automatic bids that go to the 5 highest ranked conference champions. This will be a touchback. Arizona State will start on its 25. Take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Goodyear.
There's going to be some shakeup come next Tuesday. What an upset win there in Gainesville, Florida. Ole Miss goes down, and likely so to their playoff chances. Indiana, 38-15. There was so much conversation. Is there a number that Indiana needs to lose by? Will they lose by 23? How much will that come into play? I'd say so far the biggest recipient, biggest winner will be Tennessee. And with that loss from Ole Miss, it's going to move them up a spot. But Penn State and the battle they're in Minnesota, a lot of football left today, Dave.
Notre Dame's got unbeaten Army. Scatterbo breaks free, and maybe a touchdown saving tackle at the 40-yard line by Micah Harper.
Which is a really nice job. 58, Max Ihanachor. He has been so good today. Pulls inside, helps spring that block. And Ihanachor, crazy story about him. He was playing junior college basketball just 3 years ago. He's been a bit of a project. Great athlete, playing some really good football.
Play fake, Levitt setting up, got a receiver, wide open downfield. It's caught by Guillory. What a bounce back by Arizona State. Touchdown, Devils. Looking to see if Guillory stepped out before the touchdown. Maybe at the 2. Doesn't look like it from that angle. But what a response after BYU stole momentum for the first time in this game. And he was wide open as Levitt with his 18th touchdown pass.
Touchdown is under further review.
If it holds up, because they will look at this again further. Ruling in the field of a touchdown stands for Xavier Guillory. 2-play, 75-yard drive.
You see the foot in. It was close. but it stayed in. What a response for Arizona State. Felt like BYU had a little bit of momentum. They get that stop, they get a touchdown, and then a two-play strike.
Extra point makes it 28-9, Arizona State.
Well, when you run the ball as effectively as Arizona State has, it sets up the play action pass. Watch what it does to the safety, Micah Harper. He's going to take a step in. The corner, Mark Collins as well. And then you're going to have this route that just comes wide open from Guillory. And it's about the protection. We praise this offensive line all game long, and you're going to see this protection is pristine after the play action pass. Plenty of time for Sam Leavitt to step into this throw to a wide open Xavier Guillory. Play action pass executed to perfection, and a huge touchdown for the Sun Devils.
Kansas is up 2 on Colorado going in to score against the Buffaloes. There is a chance by the end of today, 4 teams, including Arizona State, are atop the Big 12 standings with 1 week left.
Wow.
Big 12 championship will be on ABC Saturday, December 7th at noon from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. With 2 wins, Arizona State likely is there. They've got Arizona in Tucson next week. Marion on the kick return. Good open field tackle as a helmet goes flying at the 21-yard line. So the chance to reach the Big 12 title game, if BYU were to lose, it goes to 42%. Arizona State, if it holds on, 71%.
That's interesting for BYU. I mean, they're still very much in the thick of this, even with the loss.
They have Houston next week. But one would wonder about the psyche of this team after 2 consecutive losses and a narrow win against Utah. Completion for a first down to Phillips at the 43 for a gain of 16.
Pass slightly behind Phillips. Good adjustment on the fly. Bringing that pass in. A little RPO. An easy first down for BYU. And down 3 scores the way that they are, you'd like to see them pick up the pace here and attempt this comeback.
Retzlaff finds Lassiter in Arizona State territory. A missed tackle, and Lassiter inside the 25 before he's knocked out of bounds.
Wow, and just like that, BYU in business. Really good after the catch from Darius Lassiter. You see the route, him get away from the coverage of the nickel Shamari Simmons. An excellent after the catch before he's escorted out of bounds.
34-yard catch and run, closing in on a minute to go in the third. BYU still huddling. A missed 2-point conversion on the last score by BYU. Trying to get it to a 2-possession game with a lot of time left. They fake the pitch. Retzlaff in trouble. Gets hit as he throws. Incomplete. Elijah O'Neal was right in the face.
Well, it was the blitz and the pressure. Brian Ward dials up from Shamari Simmons coming off the edge. To come out of your screen here. Nickelback, again, they're selective when they decide to bring pressure. That's what initially forces Retzlaff up into the pressure inside, and fortunate to get that ball off.
O'Neal with 2 sacks on the season. Hit the arm of Retzlaff there. Retzlaff, quick throw, receiver wide open. It's Phillips. He hung on to that one, and it's a touchdown for BYU. We talked about the quick response by Arizona State. How about the bounce back by BYU? Jake Retzlaff is dealing right now. Despite the fact this team is still down, there's a quarter to go. Retzlaff has the hot hand right now as they will go for 2.
And the smart move, Dave, going for two, cut it to a two possession game as opposed to a 2 touchdown game. 2 gets it to 11. And with another 2-point conversion, that and a field goal could tie this game up.
Where has this offense for BYU been the last 2.5 games? But they've unlocked Retzloff here in the third quarter. They'll put it in his hands here. And he finds Lassiter, who makes the grab. It's 28-17 with 43 seconds to go in the third. And again, Retzloff with just a gorgeous pass.
Well, it was a howitzer on the touchdown to JoJo Phillips. And this is a great find. You're going to see Keith Abney, the corner. He's going to stay up, and then the safety never gets back over the top. And it's going to have JoJo Phillips wide open. And the velocity behind this pass, it's extremely well done from Retzloff. Identifies the coverage almost immediately. Does not allow time for that safety to get over the top. And how about this on the conversion? He wanted to go to 2 Chase Roberts. He looks off his initial read, leaves that ball high in the strong hands from Darius Lassiter to bring it in. And BYU says, we're not going out without a fight. What a response from BYU and Kalani Sitake's bunch. He told us they've got veteran leadership, and man, they have come back in this second half. Would have thought after that 2-play touchdown, Dave, maybe that was it, but BYU with a quick strike back to get back in this ball game.
They've been this way throughout Sitake's tenure. They were 5-7 last year, 2-7 in conference play, and they bounced back this year with a lot of the same guys on the roster, just a year older, and are in first place and back within 11.
When you've touched on it, it's really been about Jake Retzloff, the quarterback, and what he's been able to do throwing the football and engineering back-to-back touchdown drives. When this offense was almost lifeless, they put together the field goal drive before halftime, but they weren't able to get much going at all, and an impressive start to this second half for BYU.
But can the defense complement the offense? They've given up 28 points, just gave up a big play on the last Arizona State touchdown. Scadaboo looking for a hole. Falls forward into the arms of Tyler Batty, but a gain of about 5.
He just falls forward, Dave. There's not even a whole lot there. He just refuses to go down. So tough to get a good shot on him, and everything is always falling forward, and a nice pickup on first down.
Arizona State does not have to snap it here before the end of the quarter with an 11-point lead. You would not expect them to waste a play here. And they won't. A potential spot or spots in the Big 12 championship at stake. BYU back in it down 11. That's the end of the third quarter. And now let's take a quick timeout with DoorDash. Welcome back to ESPN College Football, delivered by Papa John's. The Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor in Tempe. One of the biggest games at Mountain America Stadium in some time. They have packed the house for a game with major Big 12 and college football playoff implications. And Arizona State carries an 11-point lead into the fourth quarter. Second down and 5 from the ASU 30-yard line. The Devils have not punted today, and BYU's defense has yet to force a 3-and-out. Got an official stoppage here. Waiting for an explanation from Gene Semko, our referee. The play clocks on the scoreboards are not.
How about this BYU crowd here?
See the play clock, all the clocks except for the game, not working. Down the distance, not set, but that's behind Arizona State. That's not what Levitt is looking at. He's looking at the other scoreboard that works. Here's Tyson on a little screen, and he's dragged down About a half yard shy of the marker. It's going to be 3rd and inches.
Well, Cam Skattebo territory. We also saw earlier a quarterback sneak. Remember, BYU didn't cover up both A-gaps. Did they learn from their mistake earlier? Looks like 2 guys right there in the inside. Looking like it's going to be quarterback sneak. Boy, there is a hole off the left side of the offensive line.
Maybe another clock issue here.
This BYU crowd is getting loud.
Skattebo's got 3 rushing touchdowns to see if he gets it here on 3rd down. It's play action. Levitt on the boot, and he's going to take off and get the 1st down, and he's still going. Levitt tackled at midfield, but a penalty flag down. Gain of 16 if it holds up. Arizona State saying it's against the defense.
Holding number 4. Defense. 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. 1st down.
It's on Maury Bamba, so that tacks on 10 more yards and puts the ball in BYU territory.
Well, this is such a smart play by Sam Levitt. This is the defensive holding. You're going to get on the outside by Bamba. And here's the play action. Get Sam Levitt out on the perimeter. Nobody accounts for him. Utilize that athleticism and a big 1st down.
Boy, the penalties by BYU have not been many, 6, but they've all been costly.
Very costly.
Arizona State can take time off the clock. Skattebo dancing in the hole and knocked down. About a half a yard loss, probably the first negative play all day, with Skattebo touching the ball. So hard to get to the ground. One of the best runners in the country after contact.
Ethan Slade coming down from that safety spot, making the tackle. And to your point, very rarely, if ever, have we seen Cam Skattebo get to the ground. First negative run for Skattebo all day.
How about 221 carries on the season? 23 today. Empty set on 2nd and 11. Skattebo makes the catch, puts his hand down to show good balance, but then Tyler Batty tracked him down and dropped him for no gain.
This is an excellent job by the veteran defensive end. Watch him get out from his defensive end spot. He's going to drop in zone coverage, and it's a sprint out to the flat to get Skattebo to the ground. BYU is yet to force a punt all day. And also a reminder, too, just because Arizona State doesn't get it, they don't mean they have to punt. They can get half this and still go for it on 4th down.
They likely would, based on their philosophy. Levitt from the pocket, everybody covered on the run, and the pass is low and incomplete. Mateer could not come up with it, and now it's 4th and 11.
I think you got to punt it in this spot from the 40 at 4th and 10. If it's 4th and 5, I think that's a good decision. You know, Kenny Dillingham, then he can roll the dice and go for it. But 4th and 10, you bring the punt team up, and you hope that defense can regain some of the success they had in the first half.
Canyon Floyd, first punt of the day. He does have a completion on a pass attempt. And we've already seen some trickery on special teams by Arizona State with an onside kick that worked in the first half. Although they got to get to the 30-yard line, you would expect him to punt. He does. And the fair catch made by Kingston around the 13-yard line. So BYU with 12:28 to go has the football, trailing by 11 in Tempe.
ESPN College Football is delivered by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some.
The Lantern Walk, one of the oldest traditions at Arizona State, with students trekking up to the A on the mountain, carrying the lanterns to signify the start of homecoming. And it is a packed house for homecoming at Mountain America Stadium. Arizona State trying to inch closer to perhaps a conference title, college football playoff spot. BYU with the same things at stake. Down 11 with the ball. Early in the 4th from the 12-yard line. And on the run, big hole. Martin past the 20 and out to the 25. First down. Let's check in with Taylor.
This offense has been rolling in the second half, and the message to the receivers is I need everyone to continue to be ready. This offense is at its best when we're spreading the ball around, and the numbers bear that out. They've been doing that, Dave.
Yep, 8 different receivers. No one with more than 3 catches. Retzloff has the hot hand, and on a back shoulder throw, there was some contact, but no flag. Lassiter, the intended target. Javen Robinson in coverage, bringing up second down.
And Lassiter just lost his footing there. No contact really down the field to warrant a flag. But to your point, Retzloff, 126 yards, the touchdown, the 2-point conversion in the second half. He's playing a completely different brand of football than he did in the first half, and a big reason why he's getting the ball to the open man.
Scored on their last 3 possessions. They go empty here on 2nd and 10. ASU rushes 5. Retzloff got rid of it at the last second, complete for a first down to Lassiter. And Lassiter pushing the pile to midfield. Boy, a huge hit by Jordan Crook, but Retzloff hung in there.
Well, Crook's going to come off the edge, and he's going to be unaccosted. And Retzloff's going to wait in there until the last second to deliver this football, and it's a strike to an open Lassiter. What toughness and pocket presence to be able to stand into the last minute and deliver a strike for another first down.
Played through injury last week in their loss against Kansas, but really had trouble throwing the football because of bruises on his legs. Got another completion. This is Keanu Hill on the catch, and a gain of 6. They're in Arizona State territory now.
And yet another new recipient catching a football. Keanu Hill now playing tight end, the former wide receiver, with his first touch of this afternoon.
Here's what you're talking about, Dusty. Just a different player here in the second half. Rolling out, Retzloff looking, and in between defenders has another completion. It's a first down to Parker Kingston at the 27, 18 yards.
Boy, the routes these BYU receivers are running are excellent. It's zone coverage on the back end, and Kingston finds that soft spot, sits down, and another strike from Jake Retzloff.
They're in field goal range. They need 2 scores. Down 11, Retzloff looking, taking a shot to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Phillips was trying to adjust. Robinson in coverage.
Well, a lot of contact down there in the end zone. Robinson, he gets a full extension. Watch him with that arm. Does not draw the flag.
Should have. That looked like interference.
He definitely had that left arm extended on the receiver, Phillips.
So now it's 2nd and 10. Again, at this stage, you got an opportunity to at least get something on the board here to make it a 1-score game. Be about a 45-yard field goal from this spot, and they've got a very good kicker in Will Farron. Play clock at 1. They snap it in time. Retzloff off his back foot just lobs it downfield, and it's knocked down, incomplete. There's a penalty marker down. Abney broke up the pass to Lassiter. That was just a prayer from Retzloff. It may have been answered by the officials.
But Brian Ward, who is typically...
Pass interference, number 1. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, Brian Ward's typically conservative, plays zone coverage. He dialed it up and brought everybody, left one-on-one outside, Lassiter and Abney. As we take a look, gets that right arm on. He's got both hands on his breastplate, Dave. It's gonna draw the flag every time. I mean, they bring everybody. Look at how many bodies around the line of scrimmage. Brian Ward says, we're forcing the hand here of Jake Retzloff. He puts a lot of air underneath that football and just too much contact from Abney.
1st and 10 on the 12-yard line of Arizona State. Retzloff to throw again. Over the middle, it's caught. Marion stretching out, and he did not get in, but he got a first down. Good job, too, by Marion not to put the ball out there and risk it getting batted away and turn the ball over on the goal line. He just secured it, made sure he got the first down so that they can punch it in on the next play.
And it's just so smart by Marion. This is good route running by Keelan Marion. Soft zone coverage. He sits down. A good, clean pocket. Retzloff finds him. and he delivers it once again to his wide receiver. You got to think about Rapati in the backfield, big physical running back.
And Retzloff, well, that was an awkward-looking quarterback sneak. There was penetration. He got stood up, and he just couldn't lean over anybody and lunge forward, so no gain, 2nd and goal.
That was very awkward, Dave. When he takes the snap, and he wasn't leaning forward, going anywhere quickly. It's good penetration, as you referenced.
That was Clayton Smith in the backfield.
Odd sequence. I'm curious, where is 27 L.J. Martin? This feels like L.J. Martin territory around the 1-yard line.
He's in the game here on 2nd and goal.
Aaron Roderick told us he felt good about the physicality of his offensive line. They've lost the fight for a lot of today, but I'm giving it to 27 here.
Instead, it's Marion again on that jet sweep, trying to get the corner, and he's into the end zone for the 2nd time. Touchdown, BYU. 28-23. And a lot of time left. BYU will go for 2 after that 88-yard drive. It took only 3 minutes and 44 seconds. And Keelan Marion so dangerous. 2 kick returns for touchdowns on the year, 2 rushes for touchdowns in this game.
And he's been a vital piece as a wide receiver. They have really leaned on him here in this 2nd half. And a 2-point conversion here cuts it to 3. Not heard the name of Chase Roberts very much today. Great size outside.
Arizona State bringing pressure, and the pass is underthrown and incomplete, intended for Hill. And so it stays 28-23. Might have been tipped at the line. 5-point game.
Well, let's take a look at the touchdown. This is well designed. Keanu Hill, Tasse on the outside. These 2 guys are going to come back. They're going to get a key block, and it's going to spring the edge for 17, Keelan Marion. Not able to get the 2-point conversion. It's a stop for Arizona State.
A 26-yarder for the lead. BYU, they get a hard-fought 3-point win. Lassiter, touchdown! Are you kidding me? Kick is good!
Somehow BYU improving to 9-0. Caught, but short of the first down.
The magic ran out tonight.
They've been the cardiac Cougars this year, and they were down 21-0 at one point in this first half. They're 0-36 over the last 20 years when trailing by 20 or more. It was 21-3 at halftime. It's now 28-23, 8:44 to go. This will be a touchback. Let's check in with Matt in the studio.
All right, guys, want to update you on Colorado and Kansas. Devin Neal, 244 total yards offense and 4 touchdowns. And right now, Rock Chalk is up 37-21 over the Buffs.
If that holds, if Colorado loses and BYU comes back to win, the Cougars would clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship. And Arizona State hang on, plus a win next week, and the Devils are likely in the Big 12 title game. Gotta wonder about the psyche now of Arizona State, having BYU come back to this point. They're gonna run it. Kyson Brown in trouble, wrapped up by Glasgow for a loss back at the 24. A 1-yard setback.
Well, this is how you set an edge. Watch Glasser's going to fight through the block, get up the field, and get a big tackle on Brown. But I don't know why in first down you're not giving it to 4. Cam Scatterbo, guy who they've leaned on the last 2 seasons. He's been massive here today. Does not get the ball in first down, and now it's 2nd long. How much does that change the math for Marcus Arroyo, offensive coordinator?
Levitt will throw on 2nd down, only a 3-man rush. A lob downfield. What an adjustment! Jordan Tyson makes the catch in BYU territory. Gain of 28.
Well, we were told yesterday by Marcus Arroyo he's really good in one-on-one situations. How about the adjustment in the air, back to the football, and making that catch over Jacob Robinson. Unbelievably impressive by Jordan Tyson, and a big catch.
And they've produced some excellent receivers over the years at Arizona State. They look like they got another one. Their wide receiver coach is Hines Ward, the former Steeler. Scadaboo trying to bust it to the outside. Outruns a DB and scoots out of bounds. At the 37, that's a gain of 9.
Well, once again, we're going to see this counter scheme. Pull backside guard, backside tackle. They get out in front. You'll see the athleticism of 58. Watch him get out in front. Help secure that edge. Give Scadaboo just enough to hit the accelerator and get to the sidelines, and a nice run on first down.
And you mentioned Ihanachor, the right tackle, first-year starter. You touched on the fact that he only played 1 year of football in junior college, was a basketball player, but he might end up being a high draft pick. Scadaboo hit in the backfield. Down he goes. Another negative play. Jack Kelly was back there for BYU. And so it's going to bring up 3rd and about 2.
Big 3rd down situation. I got to tell you, I would imagine the thought process of Kenny Dillingham, we're already in 4-down territory, barring a negative play. And I think you just give it to 4. I don't think you overthink it. I know they're just coming off a negative play. You see they're in pistol, which allows the running back to get downhill. And Scadaboo's a downhill runner.
It will be Scadaboo, and he got the first down. Great hole opened up on the left side of the line for Scadaboo to get 7 yards and move the chains and work the clock.
That's Josh Atkins. Watch him, the left tackle. He's going to help make this hole that you just described, Dave Pash. And a big 3rd down, he gets to that linebacker. And when they go pistol and you get Cam Scadaboo right behind the quarterback, he can get vision downhill and hit it at full speed. And that's what he did to convert on 3rd down.
They get Kyson Brown in at running back on first down with the clock nearing 5.5 to go. Arizona State up 5. Here's Brown inside the 30 and down to the 25. Gain of 6 on the play. And again, Arizona State can continue to take time off the clock. Ethan Slade on the tackle for BYU.
And, you know, we talked with Sam Levitt. We asked him, where have you grown the most? You know, he talked about pocket presence, but he also talked about late game situations, situational football, being smart in situations like this. He plays so well, you forget he's a freshman quarterback, but throughout the course of the season, he's put himself in position to be ready for spots like this.
The quad formation, we saw that work in the first half. They fake it that way. Levitt stepping up, in trouble, gets away from a man and picks up the first down. Sam Levitt, whose dad and brother both played at BYU. Now Levitt playing against BYU, making plays with his feet late.
Well, it's a screen and go, right? You mentioned that quad over there. They faked the screen they threw earlier. They covered it down the field. And instead of making a dumb decision, fit the ball where it doesn't need to go, use that athleticism, pick up the yardage, and move the chains for another first down.
BYU hoping to hold Arizona State to 3, which would keep it at a 1-possession game, but the clock not in their favor. 4:20 and counting. Trying to find a hole is Kyson Brown, and he can't. Wrapped up by Slade at the 20 for no gain. But again, the clock running here. Arizona State will take its time before the next snap as Scadaboo checks back in for the Sun Devils.
Got to get him a little bit of breathing room. Right, Dave? I mean, they've run him a lot today. Cam Scadaboo now with 26 carries. He's also caught the football, been a key blocker as well. But they're going to ride him here down the stretch. Look at this formation now. 3 backs lined up in the backfield. One of them is Tyson.
Play action and a quick throw to Mateo, the tight end on a screen. On the cutback, he's inside the 15 and tackled by Tanner Walt, a yard short of a first down. 3rd and 1.
This is so good by Marcus Arroyo. This is Matoyer. Look, he's going to be right here, and he's going to come sit down, and it's going to set up the screen. Play action. You put your tight end and your receiver in the backfield. That's really good play design and execution from the Arizona State offense.
What do you want here? 3rd and 1.
4. Give it to 4.
They bring in an extra offensive lineman. Makua Pule, an extra tight end, Cameron Harpole. That's Pule playing fullback, blocking for Scadaboo, and he doesn't get the first down. Now, do you go for it or do you take points? The points are to given all the issues with the field goal kicking.
What would I do? I would take the field goal. What do I think Kenny Dillingham's going to do based off our conversations with him and based off what we've seen from him all season? I think they're to line up and go for this play.
Last week, they made a field goal for the first time since week 4. At one point, Kenny Dillingham held open tryouts for kicking because they had so many issues. We'll take a timeout with BYU calling for time. Will Kenny Dillingham change his mind? Back in a moment. Some big games coming up tonight on ESPN and ABC. A&M Auburn when we're done. Alabama at Oklahoma over on ABC. So early in the year, Ian Hershey on field goals was 7 of 12, and they had a loss to Cincinnati. After that, a month ago, head coach Kenny Dillingham opened things up for open tryouts for the kickers. He didn't sign anybody. Parker Lewis made a field goal last week, his first field goal in 3 years. But at this stage, they don't trust him. They're going for it on 4th and 1.
Left side's had a lot of success. He had multiple tight ends over there as well.
And Levitt keeping it, trying to get the edge. Stiff arming, dragged down. He did not get it. Taken down by Glasgow. And Arizona State turns it over on downs. BYU needs a touchdown. 2:34 left, 2 timeouts, and the 2-minute timeout.
Well, Glasgow makes a huge play for this BYU defense, but it looks like Sam Levitt turns the wrong way, or Scadaboo goes the wrong way. What a stop. You're going to see Glasgow come here, but watch right here. Watch the quarterback. He's going to turn one way. Scadaboo goes the other. It allows Glasgow the opportunity to scrape over the top and get a huge stop and give his quarterback, Jake Retzloff, the football back with a chance to take the lead, and Kalani Sitake loves it.
Levitt frustrated either with himself or with Scadaboo. And now BYU with a chance to go win the game with 2:34 to go. They have to go 89 yards. And it's the quarterback keeping it. Retzloff. And he got a first down to the 21. Great effort there by Retzloff running the ball.
He's capable of running the football. It's been a big part of this offense all season. An excellent way to start this crucial drive.
They do have plenty of time, and they have 2 timeouts plus an official stoppage. Retzloff, long throw. Lassiter makes the catch for a first down. Pushed out at the 37. Gain of 16. Retzloff's been the difference in the second half, running and throwing.
Well, how about this throw? He's from the far hash. He hits this corner route on the money outside the numbers. That's great timing, and that's an accurate throw and another BYU first down.
Doesn't look like they will snap it before the official 2-minute timeout, which is one of the great additions to the sport this year. Really adds to the drama late in games like the NFL when you have the 2-minute timeout. Big 12 championship, college football playoff, all at stake in the next 2 minutes.
The final 2 minutes are presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Be a 2%er. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply.
First place in the Big 12. A chance to go to Arlington in the conference championship game. And even better, a potential spot in the college football playoff. All hanging in the balance for both these teams. With 2 minutes to go. BYU down 5. First down from its 37. Jake Retzloff, who's been having the hot hand, almost threw a pick. Lassiter slipped, and then Rouser had a chance to intercept the ball, but it was thrown too high.
Boy, Jake Retzloff, very fortunate with this one. This pass gets away from him. You're right, Lassiter slips, but this pass sails on him, and Rouser just unable to climb the ladder and bring in what would have felt like a game-clinching interception.
BYU 1 loss. Colorado about to get its 2nd loss. Arizona State and Iowa State both with 2 losses. Could be a 4-way tie in the Big 12 when the day's over, if Arizona State can get a stop. Retzloff completes it. Roberts wrapped up. Pushback. And they'll blow it dead at about the 44. 7-yard gain. BYU have 2 timeouts left. Needs a touchdown. Clock running. Will stop on first downs as we're inside 2 to play.
As I mentioned before halftime, Jake Retzloff very comfortable orchestrating in these situations.
On the rollout, completes it for a first down to Roberts. Out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:24 left at the Arizona State 49.
Nice job by Chase Roberts. Just continues to get width and expand. And Retzloff just moving to his right. Finds his favorite target wide open.
No offers coming out of high school in Corona, California. Had to go to 2 junior colleges before somebody gave Jake Retzloff a look. At school was BYU. He's 9-1 as a starter. 2 come from behind 4th quarter wins already this year, and looking for number 3. Pressure from ASU. Retzloff looking at ball, tipped at the line, incomplete, and a late flag is thrown. Roberts got knocked down. And defensive holding is something you can call even on a deflection. If it was pass interference, you could pick up the flag, but not on holding.
Number 7, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's on Shamari Simmons.
Great explanation, Dave. It was the hold, and it was clearly a hold, therefore negates the pass deflection at the line of scrimmage. Shamari Simmons there on Chase Roberts. He gets that left-hand grab, and Roberts goes to the ground.
That happened before the ball was thrown, hence defensive holding. 1:20 to go, the ball at the Arizona State 39. Pressure again from Arizona State. It's picked up. Retzloff floats it deep. Oh, and he had JoJo Phillips, who may have walked into the end zone, but Retzloff misfired. And he's got his hands on his helmet as if to say, man, I want that one back.
Well, Brian Ward is dialing up pressure. It's one-on-one. Safety doesn't get over the top in time and just missed an open JoJo Phillips. Retzloff needed to put a little bit more air underneath that football, and it would have been 6 for BYU.
Four-man rush this time. Retzloff's pass, picked off at the 40-yard line. Robinson, he might take it back, being chased by Retzloff, and finally tackled at the 10. What a huge play. Robinson saves the day, maybe saves the season for Arizona State.
We've talked a lot about Jake Retzloff, and he's been great in the second half. A pass earlier in the drive, got away from him. It wasn't punitive. This one was. They want to throw the slant, and this pass just sails over the head of Darius Lassiter, and it's Javen Robinson in prime position to pick the pass off and take it back inside the 10-yard line. What a takeaway for Arizona State, and a potential Big 12 championship appearance saving play for this Sun Devil defense.
Still some work to do, though. BYU does have 2 timeouts. We already touched on the kicking issues for Arizona State. It'll be really interesting to see how the Devils handle this 1st and goal on the BYU 7.
Do not want to score too quickly.
Scadaboo trying to stay in bounds, and he does, thanks to that stiff arm. That was a smart play by Scadaboo. Timeout by Kalani Sitake. Initially, it looked like Scadaboo was headed out of bounds, but he cut it upfield and hugged that sideline, forcing a BYU timeout. Now, coming up over on ABC in about 40 minutes, it'll be number 7 Alabama and Oklahoma. With Indiana losing, who knows, maybe the Tide move up into that number 5 spot. And Notre Dame playing tonight against Army. Ole Miss lost. They're going to be out of the top 10.
A&M Auburn tonight going to be very intriguing. The Aggies on the road. I'm intrigued with what my alma mater does against Bama tonight. Jalen Milroe's been excellent. That defense has played better. Going to be a fun one there in Norman. BYU down to 1 timeout, 58 seconds left, Dave. I mean, they could score the touchdown here. You go up 2 touchdowns. You can play that game and not worry about it, or you get tackled in bounds here, force BYU to use another timeout.
I think if I'm Arizona State, I'm getting the touchdown.
I just go score. You're right.
BYU's not going to have time for 2 possessions. You win the game if you get in the end zone.
Go score.
Got to protect the ball if you're Arizona State. And instead, Levitt just running backwards. Not sure why you would do that, because now you've got a timeout. I get it. There's not a lot of time left. Right. You're trying to take time off the clock, and with one more play, you could take it down to 10, 11 seconds, but why risk it at that point? Running backwards. What if you turn the ball over and you get a free ball, and it's scooped up in return for a score?
Let's see how much clock they burn at last play. It's about 7 seconds. So Sam Levitt just retreating. They're trying to play the clock game here. And at 51, so now probably similar, right? They're going to snap it. They're going to probably retreat, burn as much clock as they can off, and then run it all the way down, use one of their timeouts when the clock gets to 1. And you're probably sitting there, Dave, depending on how much they can burn here, you're probably sitting there with about 5-6 seconds left on the clock. Then again, you can retreat, throw the ball up. I mean, it feels like that's what Kenny Dillingham is playing for here late in this game.
But it is dangerous, and if you're BYU, you got to be ball hawking. If the quarterback just starts running back, you got to stop chopping at that arm, trying to force the ball free.
No doubt.
And the fans are ready to storm the field here for what would be one of the biggest wins in a long time at Arizona State. 52 seconds left. BYU cannot stop the clock. Out of timeouts. And again, Levitt backing up, being chased, goes down. And so the play clock just reset. There's about a 6-second difference in the game and play clock. And to your point, Arizona State will take it down, call a timeout, and now it's 4th down. You can do the same thing. You just run around. But again, there's a danger with that. You got to make sure you protect the ball if you run around for 5 seconds, or run around and throw it high in the air.
That's exactly right. That's, you practice that. These are late game situations that you practice, and I understand you can elect to easily try to go for the touchdown, but to your point, you get a running back in there, people ripping away at the football. Kenny Dillingham assessing the situation, thinks this is the safest route to secure this extremely important victory.
I'm just surprised when you're inside the 5 like that. You go score, the game's over. You don't have to worry about all this stuff if you punch it in on that second down.
What are they really worried about, though? There's 4 seconds left on the clock, and they put themselves at no risk whatsoever.
And now they take the delay game.
They sit down.
It's worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out to this point. I'm just saying the easier path may have been you score. You don't have to do all this stuff.
Correct, but then, I mean, again, I could take you down a rabbit hole of things. Now they put 3 more seconds back on the clock, so 7 seconds on the clock here for Arizona State. Just saying, Marion's been a great kick returner. I mean, you can go down the list. Sure. Crazy things happen. I think Kenny Dillingham's saying, I want to end the game with us possessing the football, and they've got to find a way to burn 7 seconds off this clock and get out of here with a win.
Could you get a quick kick in this situation, too, from Levitt?
They've got somebody deep. Marion is back deep right now.
And he's got 2 returns for touchdowns, but you'd imagine if Levitt punts it deep, he's not going to try to punt it high in the air. So another 5-yard penalty, another delay, back him up to the 49. And the more space you have, the longer you have for that clock to run down as that ball, if he does punt it, bounces around inside the 20. Instead, Levitt going to back up and just throw it deep. Clock's at 2, at 1, it lands at 0, and the game's over. What a win for Arizona State. So they're going to look at this to make sure that the clock is at 000. They're going to review it to double check, because if not, BYU would have one play. So they're going to have to clear the field here to make sure the clock did hit 0 when that ball went out of bounds.
I actually thought he let it go a little bit early. I thought he'd wait.
Let's get Matt Austin in here, our rules expert. So, Matt, what is the ruling on this? It crosses the sideline with about 2 seconds left. Should there be any time on the clock or no?
Well, for the clock to expire, it's when the ball hits something out of bounds or hits the ground. That's when the play is over. It doesn't matter where it crosses the boundary.
So in that case, this game should be over.
Yep. I get it's unorthodox, but it was very effective for Kenny Dillingham. I would imagine they'd assessed exactly how much time and how to work it out. And in the end, they get out of here with a huge, huge victory in one of the biggest games that this stadium's seen in a decade. What a win for Arizona State, for Kenny Dillingham, and for the opportunity for Arizona State to continue on this march to Arlington and a Big 12 championship.
That would get Arizona State to 6-2, bring BYU back to 6-2. Colorado about to lose. Again, it has to hit something out of bounds before the clock can stop. It crosses with about 2 seconds to go, and it lands in the stands. Ooh, is there still a half second left? That would put the ball at midfield and give BYU a shot, which again would go back to my point earlier about just score and you're up enough to not have to worry about any of this stuff end of game coming back to haunt you.
Clear this field.
It's close.
Clear the field.
It's got to be. They've got to determine that, just like all replays, it's indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn the ruling on the field that the game is over.
But if
I think they're going to put time on the clock.
They've got to clear the field.
Yes.
That's going to take some time.
But now you've got the ball at midfield with 1 second left if you're BYU, and you got a hoist to the end zone. Yep. They have not officially announced it, but got to imagine with all the time they're taking, this is because they're going to overturn it, get the clock fixed, figure out, okay, where exactly, again, is the ball placed, and then they got to work on getting the fans off the field because we're not done. And it's going to take a while to get the fans off the field.
Yes, it is, because they continue to come out.
And Kenny Dillingham trying to urge the fans surrounding him to leave the field, knowing that this could get overturned. Doesn't want a flag either, a penalty flag called on his team, since there's still time technically on the clock if this gets overturned. Still no announcement, waiting for the replay official Gene Semko and Michael Vander Velde, the referee. Kenny Dillingham, you see, very adamantly believes this game's over. And the officials,
I think they just told him it's not.
Yep, they're putting 1 second back on. Now they got to get everybody off the field. And again, I just go back, Dusty, to if Arizona State, with the ball at the 3-yard line, just goes into the end zone, the game's pretty much over. I get it. You're still probably going to win. There's 1 second left. You got to have a Hail Mary. The percentages are very low of that working, but you played with fire a little bit down the stretch here.
We agree. I thought, I told you, I would have gone for the touchdown as well. I think this is a matter of they just mismanaged the numbers. And I think that they thought that it was going to work out exactly to where there'd be no time left on the clock. And obviously with 1 second left, Kenny Dillingham probably going to have to reassess situations like this in the future. And that's the one thing when they let the football go, when Sam Leavitt let the football go, and he had a defender in his face, I guess I expected him to retreat a little bit more and buy a little more time before he threw it, because he threw it pretty quickly. He put a lot of air underneath the football.
You mentioned this. How much time do teams prepare for those situations in practice during the week?
A lot. End of game situations, and especially with the clock. How much time a certain play is going to take. You know, what's going to come off the clock, exactly what we need. I have to imagine Kenny Dillingham has got people that are crunching those numbers, and they're having that discussion on the headset, and he felt comfortable that they'd be able to end this football game. But with 1 second left, BYU, they've got a chance to pull off a miracle.
And Kenny Dillingham's got to be careful. He's been in the face of the officials. I doubt that they would flag him at this point, but he's got to be careful. You don't, again, want to take a chance of having BYU moved up 15 more yards because you get a penalty flag. Again, they still need a touchdown. And still work to do to get the goalpost back up. You got to get the goalposts fixed and the fans off the field. All right, let's bring Matt Austin again here. Matt, go ahead.
Well, I'm not really sure why the Arizona State coach is that upset unless there's a ruling of intentional grounding on this last play. Because he does throw the ball up into the stands. So technically it meets the standards for intentional grounding. Now, if the clock had hit 0, normally you don't extend a period when it carries a loss of down. But that's at the option of the offended team. So it's not unheard of that they could mark off or put the ball at the spot of the pass and give BYU another down. Since there's a second back on the clock, that really doesn't matter though. But they could get an extra. They could get the ball at the spot of the pass.
Okay, Matt. So they did not rule pass interference. So the ball's going to be at the 49-yard line. 1 second left. One play.
And there was a weird situation earlier in the season at the end of a game with Arizona State that similar. It was a wild ending to the game, and now a second wild ending. This one having a ton on the line here for Arizona State. Just a wild scene. I've never seen anything quite like this. They've got all the fans backed up. Are they going to have to get them all the way off the field?
In behind the stands here, Dusty, there's not a lot of room either. It's not like you have this huge area under the bleachers to our right where all those fans are. They got to get them back into their seats because there's not enough room for them under those bleachers.
Seen a lot of football, Pash. I've never seen this.
Keep in mind, not just a lot at stake for Arizona State, a lot at stake for BYU. First place on the line. If BYU loses with Colorado about to go down, you'd have a 4-way tie for first. If somehow BYU wins, they clinch. If they complete this Hail Mary, they clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship game. And again, if you end up winning the Big 12, more than likely you get an automatic berth in the new 12-team college football playoff. But it's going to take a while to get the fans back onto the bleachers and then to their seats because of the lack of space over there. I mean, the fans, it looks like the majority of the fans were from the student section, so hopefully it won't take that long. And the student section is right there in that end zone. I thought Matt made a good point, though, about the intentional grounding. He was not outside the pocket.
Right. He had pressure in his face.
Yep. He threw it away, obviously, unless the officials thought he was outside the tackle box, and that's why they didn't call it, unless Kalani Sitake is saying, hey, there should be a grounding there and a 15-yard penalty. But there's no flag that's been thrown. 1 second left. It's going to be BYU ball at midfield. But we are a ways away from actually getting that to happen. If Arizona State holds on, it then has a 71% chance. BYU would have 98, but if Colorado goes final and they were losing against Kansas with just a few minutes left, that game ends, it's 100% because they clinch. But with a loss, Colorado is just lost. So it's official that BYU does convert on this Hail Mary. They would clinch a spot. If they lose, they still would have obviously a chance with a win and some help next week to get into the championship game. But Iowa State still has a game to play tonight. They're at 2 losses. They play at Utah. They play Kansas State next week. Arizona State is at Arizona. BYU plays Houston next week. And then Colorado also would be at 2 losses. You have 4 teams top the standings at 2 losses, and there are some teams with 3 losses that, when it's all said and done, could be brought back into the mix depending on what happens next week.
Scadaboo now, he's been patrolling the sidelines, trying to get people back into the stand so that we can have this final play. I think it was against Utah. I believe Arizona State, Utah, similar situation happened when the fans prematurely rushed the field and they had to get them all off. And here we are once again. Just a lot of excitement around this football program right now. We've got this.
It's been about, what, 8 to 10 minutes so far. It's probably going to be another 8 to 10 before they can get everybody off the field. It's been 11 minutes, we're told, officially. 11 minutes since the game, as we thought, ended. And it's going to be a while. So let's fast forward here. If you're BYU, is this just simply a hoist to the end zone? If you're Retzloff, and how do you handle this? If you're Arizona State, you just back a bunch of guys deep at the goal line, expecting that?
Well, you man up. Okay, first of all, you make sure that everybody is accounted for. Okay, whenever you just try to back all the way up and bat it down, somebody's got to count for everybody. And then I'm putting someone like Glasgow, who's 6'5", in a situation where he can go up and knock the ball down. But that's one thing that I don't think we've seen some Hail Marys that have worked this year. And you have receivers that don't have somebody on them. So first and foremost, you've got to be able to man up and make sure someone has got every receiver accounted for, and then have other jumpers that go up and try to knock the ball away, because it's really on the tip part. As that tip happens, if you don't have everybody manned up, that's when they can get off the tip, catch the football, and miracles happen.
And you can see Retzloff warming up, throwing Hail Marys, basically standing in midfield and throwing it into the end zone. You would imagine they'll send guys deep into the end zone, and sometimes they'll take a couple receivers and have them run a little bit more shallow, short of the end zone, in case there's a redirection into the field of play. We've seen that before. Keep in mind, Arizona State was up 21-0 in this game, and it was 21-3 at halftime, and then 28-17. BYU failed on consecutive 2-point conversion attempts. Had they just converted on one of those, they'd be in a situation here where they could try a field goal. Now, it's a 65-yarder, but their kicker does have the leg. Will Ferrens made a 54-yarder, and they think he can make one from deeper than that. Obviously, at this point, that's not in play. Kenny Dillingham still having words with the officiating crew. And not sure at this point what he's upset about, because replay has already shown that there's time on the clock. How hard as a player is this to regroup when you're going to be sitting for, I mean, maybe longer than 20 minutes before everybody's cleared?
Not easy, and I can't say I've ever experienced it, because I never experienced a situation quite like this as a player. But both teams will regather, regroup, and one last play to determine the outcome of this football game.
So what they've done is they've cleared the field enough. They've got all the fans behind that end zone technically off the field, and it's not in the direction of where the play is going. So they're going to, rather than try to get everybody back into their seats, get the players on the field for this last play.
You've got Keanu Hills at 6'4", near side into the boundary. To the field, Chase Roberts, 6'4". You've got JoJo Phillips, 6'5", and looks like Darius Lassiter, 6'2". So a lot of length, a lot of size out there for BYU.
There's only 10 guys on the field right now for Arizona State. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now there's 11. They just got the 11th guy on. Retzloff steps up, moving to his right, hoists it deep. And it's underthrown, and it was caught but short of the goal line. It was caught by Chase Roberts, but it doesn't matter. The game is over, and now they can celebrate. Arizona State with the win. Getzlaff did not throw it deep enough. A little surprised.
Well, he had some pressure, he had to move to his right. He had that size out there. Chase Roberts, interestingly enough, a week ago against Kansas when they got stopped, they were just about 2 yards short of the first down and about 4 yards short of the end zone here today. A valiant comeback for BYU, but comes up short and a massive win for Arizona State.
And a four-way tie atop the Big 12 standings. 4 teams with 2 losses: BYU, Colorado, Arizona State, and Iowa State. And the Cyclones play tonight at Utah, as the Sun Devils inch closer to a spot in year 1 in the Big 12 of a trip to Arlington in the conference championship and maybe a college football playoff spot. You saw the pressure from Keyshawn Elliott and the ball thrown short. We mentioned a lot of times teams will have receivers go a little bit shallow and some deep in case of a redirection, a deflection back in the field of play, but that ball never got anywhere near the end zone.
Pressure. He also had somebody in front of him as he steps into that throw. Can't get quite enough on it. And the celebration's on for the Sun Devils.
Can probably count on one hand when we've had 2 field stormings in a single game. So with a win next week and Iowa State losing one of its final 2, they would clinch a spot. There were other scenarios in which the Sun Devils can still get into the Big 12 championship, and that will play out next weekend because there's 4 teams playing for 2 spots in Arlington. Final score: Sun Devils 28, BYU 23. For Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor, I'm Dave Pash saying so long from Tempe. Well, let's send you back to the studio. I know one of the 3 gentlemen that we are going to throw it to is going to be awfully happy. With Dan Mullen, Joey Galloway, here's Matt Berry.